Good evening. This is Akeem Holmes, Shepherd Ram alumni, broadcasting live for Home Team Sports with my co-host Brandon Ashenfelter.
Yes, sir.
We are excited to be back live on Home Team Sports TV, covering the number 4 nationally ranked Shepherd Rams coming in today's contest, 5-0 versus the 1-4 Lock Haven Bald Eagles. And Brandon, we've been doing a lot of work. We've been doing a lot of research.
Yes, sir.
To be able to bring the community a great broadcast. As this is our first collegiate broadcast for Home Team Sports TV. It's a big day for us. And thank you, Chauncey Wimbush, the AD of Shepherd University, for allowing us this opportunity to bring Shepherd Rams football on Home Team Sports TV. Harry Brown, Junadia Miramed, Brandon Ashenfelter, Jordan Dragon, Kevin Brewster, and Shalinka Jacobs as part of our Home Team Sports TV first broadcast crew. So, Brandon, in bringing this broadcast to the community for Home Team Sports TV, what is something that you are looking forward to in your first broadcast from the Shepherd Rams?
Well, I just think it's, like you said, it's huge for the community. And, it's just big time that, TV10 does their thing, but there's somebody else out there that can help with days like today where there's 2 great football games.
Yes.
And we need two people to broadcast. So, I know TV10, they follow Martinsburg heavy, but we also need to get this Shepherd game televised, and I believe that they're going to put up some points today, and they're going to put on a show for everybody in attendance and everybody watching at home as well.
And that's what Home Team Sports TV is about. It's about bringing the community together, having, 2 platforms that you're able to follow, and you're not missing great moments from these local programs. And Brandon, from what I've seen and doing some research on both teams, is right now Lock Haven has struggled a little bit on defense.
Yes.
They have a pretty decent offense, but on defense they give up over 200 yards a game, both passing and running the ball. So I am looking forward to see if Ronnie Brown has the big game that I'm thinking he's going to have today.
If the Ronnie Brown shows up that has been showing up, I think he's going to have a great day. It might be a career day for him, considering he's averaging 121 yards a game, and I think this defense is giving up close to 200. So I definitely see him and even Blake Hartman to both have great days in the backfield, and I definitely think we're going to see what we always see out of Tyson Bajan as well. So it's going to be a big day for that offense, and as long as the defense can get off the field and get them the ball back, I think there's going to be a lot of points scored today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Ronnie Brown right now, in 5 games, he has 64 attempts for 625 yards, a net average of 608. He averages 9.5 yards per carry with 7 touchdowns and a long of 73 yards. So averaging 121 yards a game versus a defensive team from Lock Haven that has struggled with stopping the run, you're right. Him and Hartman could both break over 100, 150 yards today.
I could definitely see that. And the thing about Ronnie Brown, he's just so explosive, and he gets it done in so many different ways. He's not just going to hurt you in the rushing attack. They'll leak him out of the backfield, get him involved in the receiving game as well. And then you take account for him on special teams, and
yes.
That just goes to show what kind of explosive player he is. You want to get the ball in his hands any way possible throughout the game, and I think that's what Shepherd coaches are going to do today as well.
And obviously, you have a strong connection with the Bajan family.
Yes, sir.
Being a Martinsburg alumni, being one of the best quarterbacks Martinsburg's ever had. Brandon, if I don't want to toot your horn a little bit, but I think they say you're one of the only quarterbacks that went undefeated the whole time.
Yeah. Like you said, I don't like to toot my horn, but I hear it a lot throughout the community about 2010, we were the first ones to ever win it, and then to win it again back-to-back that next year and go 28-0. It is special, but there's no doubt in my mind that who the best quarterback is, and maybe even who number 2 is. But hey, I'll take number 3, number 4, number 5. We have some great athletes that come through there. So But I'm excited. Like you said, I have a great connection with the Bajans. I actually rode with the Bajan family all the way down to Michigan last year to catch that quarterfinal game. So, they are great people, and it just goes to show in their children as well. Yes. Not even Tyson, but Ezra, and down the line, and DM, and the youngest one as well. So
tell us a little bit about Tyson right now, his season stats.
Man, Tyson, he's having a great year. You and I were talking a little pregame. We don't know if he'll surpass that 5,000 mark. We might have to ask his dad about that whenever he comes on later. But Tyson right now, 142 completions on 209 attempts, 15 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and he's averaging 356 yards per game, which is exceptional.
Yes.
Then you have obviously his number one receiver on the other side, Marlon Cook. He's got 34 catches, 674 yards with 4 touchdowns. He's averaging 134 of Bajan's passing yards, obviously. And like we said, he's got 4 touchdowns. You got a threat in the tight end there as well, in Brian Cook. And I'm a little biased with tight ends. I got moved from quarterback to tight end in college, so I always want to see the tight end get the ball. And, he's doing exceptional this year with 23 catches, 308 yards with a 14-yard average with 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 61 yards per game as well. So, like we talked about, the rushing game is going to have a big day, but I think we've seen, these last couple years that Shepard goes as that passing game goes. Yes. Obviously, that rushing game is going to open up a lot for Bagent, but they're definitely going to get the ball in his hands and let him throw it around to hopefully a couple different receivers. So,
yeah, and Marlon reminds me a lot of Mike Evans.
Yes, big body.
He has the real strong, big body, good, decent speed, but once he gets that angle on you, he doesn't allow you, based off his physicality, to be able to get back in front. So we're also going to talk about the amazing coach, Ernie McCook.
Yes.
Coach McCook, and thank you to your program for allowing Home Team Sports TV into the living rooms of many. But after taking over from a great coach in Monte Cater, they have not missed a beat.
Not at all.
Coach McCook.
And I think, honestly, that goes to show just how close of a relationship they had when Cater was here. To be able to pick up the pieces and literally, like you said, it just seems like they didn't miss a beat. That just goes to show what kind of coaching style he has, as well as Cater. I was at Fairmont, so I got to play against Cater, and he's a great coach, and got to see Ernie as well. And what Ernie's doing with these group of guys, it's exceptional. Definitely, hopefully we get to see him down the road, and in the finals and everything this year as well. So.
Yeah, and with Coach McCook, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get physicality. You're going to get a disciplined team. And that was a staple of Monte Cater as well. Smart teams, very cerebral. They're not going to make the big mistake.
No.
They're just going to play sound football, i.e. kind of like a Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
So with Home Team Sports TV, what we like to do Chalk Talk. Mm-hmm. And Chalk Talk was with Joshua Brown, and he likes to interview the coaches, get a little bit of an intel, what they want to do, what they love about their team, what they want to correct, and things they want to do going forward. So at Home Team Sports TV, we like to bring in an intimate setting our coach, Eddie McCook, and Joshua Brown. So right now we're going to go to Chalk Talk, and at that point, you guys are going to get an in-depth look into Coach McCook.
With me, your host, Josh Brown. I have Shepherd University's head coach, Coach Ernie McCook. Hey, thanks for being here with us, Coach.
Good to be with you, Josh. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, I just had a couple questions going into this week's game. I know you guys are going against a 1-4 Lock Haven on your Hall of Fame weekend. The first question I just wanted to ask was, how do you prepare your kids for a game where it's being the number 4 team in the conference to prepare for somebody with like a 1-4 record, that you don't slip up during the tough, PSAC schedule that you face week in and week out?
Well, one of the things is we have a standard and expectations that we have how we want to operate as a football program. And we're going to meet those standards, and we're going to always coach our guys hard to prepare to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. Even though Lock Haven's record may not look, great at 1-4, you can see coaches, the new coach in his first year, you can see that team getting better and better each week. I think they have some talented players that will make plays, And we're going to have to execute at our level for us to be able to have the game that we want to have.
Yeah, you guys, you're going into your 5th season as the head coach and 18 years at Shepherd. And I've been following, and Home Team Sports have been following, and I want to talk about Ronnie Brown here just for a minute because I know you guys have a rich history of running backs. What type of dynamic does he bring to your offense that makes you guys continue to go week in and week out?
Well, Ronnie's got a tremendous competitive spirit. He wants to compete at a high level. On game days, at practice, whenever he's on the football field. And I think that shows when he's out, his attitude, his mindset as a player. Ronnie's a home run threat. Anytime he touches the ball, he's a great receiver in the pass game as a running back. And he's also a tremendous, very fast running back that plays very hard, and that's why he's as good as he is, because of his competitive spirit.
Yeah, I know that he's had a big kickoff return as well, so he helps with your return game. And I want to ask you about Tyson Bagent. And what brings me, we all know he's the Holland Hill winner, number 1 player in D2 football. What is it like having somebody that you can trust? And it takes me back to the Cal U game as we're sitting there watching. You decide to go for it on 4th down. What is it like having the ability to trust in a quarterback in times like that he's going to make the right decision and right play?
I learned early on about Tyson and his ability to carry our football team. He was, he's been a starter since he walked on our campus. He earned that spot as a true freshman, and he was our best leader. Even as a true freshman, even grew in 2019 as a sophomore. And just the things that I've been able to see him do, I know if we have a game on the line, I want the ball to be in Tyson Bagent's hands.
And you've shown that, and that's just great to know that a kid that can come in as a freshman year and pick up on, things that most people don't understand, blitz coverages and pickups and things that, may not do in high school. It's such a good thing to hear that a guy can come in, a freshman at a young age, and learn those things and still be a leader. I wanted just to get
Tyson, the one things that you don't see about Tyson is his unbelievable work ethic that he has. And he had that, I think even in high school. After Tyson finished his senior year, he was at every one of our spring practices, watching and learning. And Tyson's work, he is a hard worker, and it pays off. And that's why he's as good as he is. His preparation that he puts into the game of football and to his game is second to none. He's the best I've ever seen at it, and I guarantee there's not many people as good as him. There's definitely nobody better than him.
Yeah, and I think it sounds like that Tyson fits the Shepherd mold. You guys have been a winning program year after year after year. After you taking over, Shepherd didn't take a drop. So it's a testament to you and your ability to continue the legacy that's going on at Shepherd. The last thing I just wanted to talk to you about is that I know we talked offense. Defensively, what is your key to success against Lock Haven, and who's one impact player to look out for this week?
Well, I'm really pleased with how our defense has been playing all year long. They're playing very strong assignment-wise. They're playing together as a team. And I think when you watch our defense play, you're seeing a lot of guys run to the football. I think we've improved our team speed there. I think we're better at our alignments and assignments. And I think that the way that our defense runs to the football. And I think 2 inside linebackers, Dwayne Grantham and Devin Lynch, are 2 that you want to pay attention to. I think they're both playing at a very high level. I always hang my hat on Kyle Smith. I believe that him and Malik Holloway are 2 defensive ends, are the heartbeat of our defense and really the heartbeat of our football team. When I think of 2 guys that are senior leaders, I think Kyle Smith and Tyson Bagent. They're 2 guys that are going to lead this football program. They bring it every day. They work their butts off every day. And Tyson and Kyle's mindset and their energy is contagious within each side of the football and throughout the entire football team. So those are the guys I would say, if you look at our 2 inside linebackers, Lynch, Grantham, Malik Holloway as a defensive end, and Kyle Smith, Those are 4 guys you're going to see make a lot of plays. And then everybody else is going to do what they're coached to do and play great team defense. And I think really work every day our defense works really hard at being great. And they have high standards and they want to meet those standards.
Well, Coach, your standards are definitely showing every week, and we look forward to covering you guys on Saturday, coming off a gritty win at Shippensburg, which is a familiar foe for you. You've been playing for years, so just because you're joining PSAC, we know that you've been playing Shippensburg, and we look forward to seeing you guys take on Lock Haven and continue your undefeated success. And we thank you for spending some time here with me today.
Sure. Well, we're looking forward to playing at home on Hall of Fame weekend, and in congratulating Chad Broadwater, our football alum, who's going into the Hall of Fame this weekend. He was a great quarterback for us back in the '90s, so it's going to be great to celebrate that event with him, and hopefully play at a very high level against a team that's going to be hungry to play against us.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys will have a good turnout, and we'll look forward to seeing you. I thank you for spending your time with us. Thanks, Coach.
I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too.
TV broadcasting live from Rams Stadium in Shepherdstown, West Virginia, where we have the 5-0 and number 4 ranked Shepherd Rams versus the 1-4 Lock Haven Bald Eagles. And right now, we really want to take the time to talk about a Shepherd great. And yes, we are going to call him a Shepherd great right now because he's broken all the quarterback records at Shepherd University. Tyson Bagent. And Tyson Bagent continues to climb the record books, and he was a Harlan Hill winner last year, which is the D2 Heisman. And I just want to take the time for the community to realize that you really want to appreciate greatness. And greatness comes in all different types of forms and different levels, but you definitely want to appreciate the greatness of Tyson Bagent because you don't see that often. And Shepherd's been spoiled. You have Tyson Bagent, you had Connor Jessup, you had Jeff Ziemba.
Let's go.
So Shepherd, Joe Gordon. Gordon
old
was
school, yeah.
Joe Gordon was definitely somewhere in early 2000s. So you look at these great quarterbacks that Shepherd's been blessed to have, and he surpassed them in 3 years. So we just really want to take the time to let Tyson know that we do appreciate his greatness, but he still has work to do.
Yes, he does.
I know he still wants to bring that national championship to Shepherd University. I remember being here when we played Grand Valley State.
Yes.
And having Grand Valley State come here and we took them out.
Yeah.
That was my greatest Shepherd moment. But that is what Shepherd University has become. Shepherd University has become a D2 power. It has become a school that many across not only the DMV area, but many across the country now want to come to Shepherd University to play football. And I think that speaks to having great players like Tyson Bagent, like a Billy Brown, and great coaches like Ernie McCook, and obviously the greatest coach in Shepherd history, Monty Cater. This has brought greatness and has brought a difference to the community and the university. If you look around, you see where the university has evolved. You see where the new buildings. I was telling my son earlier today about how where on the other side where Ram Stadium is at, it used to be just a hill with rocks. It was a hill with rocks. The field was grass. There was no field house. Really wasn't any scoreboard right there. It was a basic stadium. And you look at how beautiful the stadium is right now and how beautiful the facility is. This is due to the players of the past and the players of the present being able to win and provide a product that Shepherd has been able to upgrade their facilities in this beautiful stadium.
Yeah. I mean, like you said, going back to Tyson, I think just the type of player you all see, on Saturdays goes to the testament of the type of person he is on and off the field. I mean, he puts in the work, whether that be in the classroom, in the community, helping with the youth. still showing his face at Martinsburg practices, the Little League fields, going on to talk shows with his dad. He's brought a lot of life to this university. Shepherd's always been Shepherd. I know Coach McCook touched on the Shepherd way. I don't know firsthand, obviously, because, I was an opponent in college. But just being around Tyson, knowing him, learning the Shepherd way, coming to the games just to watch him, he is the epitome of the Shepherd way. And he brought something to this university that a lot of people don't see. That Harlan Hill Trophy, that's the Heisman of D2 football. That's huge, and I think that, like you said, just brought so much advertisement and promotion to Shepherd University. If you're a receiver and you're not getting big D1 looks, why would you not want to come play with Tyson Bagent? I mean,
and his scouting reports are so in depth.
Yes,
and are so locked in, not only on the football but even the mental and emotional aspect of players. Yeah. If you guys could get a chance to talk to Tyson and pick his brain, oh my gosh, you will be blessed. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll come back. This is Home Team Sports TV.
Let's go. Welcome to another episode of Chalk Talk with me, your host, JB. I have Shepherd University starting quarterback Harlan Hill winner, the GOAT, Travis. Nah, I'm just playing. Tyson Bagent. What's up, bud? How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Oh, man, it's an honor for us to have you. And I know that you're taking on 1-4 Lock Haven this weekend. First, I want to talk about, I spoke to your coach, McCook, earlier this week, and he talked about the Shepherd way. Because I asked him, how is it that he prepares his team for a game where you're number 4 in the country and you're playing a 1-4 team? So can you just talk with us a little about the Shepherd way that you guys prepare for a game week in and week out?
As soon as you said kind of like the Shepherd way, immediately my mind just goes to all the big games that they've been able to win traditionally over this past decade. And it's easy to get caught up in the hype, being a highly rated team in the country, and you're going against a team that hasn't had very good luck this year. But it's all about the standard of how you want to win games. Like, we could easily go win this game and not put forth our best effort and kind of leave kind of feeling more disgusted than happy at how we won the game. So that's kind of what I've been preaching all week, just kind of how, like, as an offense, how do we want to leave the field on Saturday? Do we just want to leave with a win, or do we want to be happy about what we were able to accomplish? And it's also, we're trying to win big games this year, and you're only going to win big games if you continue to get better each week. So it's another week to be able to put up a dominant performance as one of the best offenses in the country, and another week to get better as a team, leading up into conference championships and playoffs and, trying to win a national championship.
Yeah, so it's safe to say that you don't want to just win. You want to win, but execute at a prolific way throughout the game. You don't want to just walk off and say, hey, we won, but you want to get better each and every week. It sounds like that is really the Shepherd way. My question for you is, how important was it for you to stay home and continue the Shepherd way? Because I'm sure you've seen it over the years. Your father, as I mentioned earlier, Travis went to Shepherd. How important was it to you to stay home and not leave the area?
I think it was vital, and it was vital for me and my life and what I've been able to accomplish since deciding to stay at Shepherd. My family's here. I'm established here. I've got a good situation. And I know that, the scouts are going to be, here to watch, whether I would have transferred to somewhere big or whether I would have stayed, the scouts would have, they're going to come and they're going to see me and they're going to get to know everything they need to know. And I think for me to be in a place that I love, with people all around me that I love, I think it's allowed me to be able to flourish in a way that I don't think I would have gotten if I would have went somewhere that I was unfamiliar with. And I think, I'm able to see my family all the time, which I think plays a huge role in my success. I get to see, I got 3 young siblings that are, growing up every day, and being able to see them grow up, not through a phone, but in person, I think has also been huge in me being able to play the way that I do on Saturdays.
Yeah, well, it sounds like it definitely worked out for you a lot. And I want to talk about your offense. And I know that everything starts up front. You know, the line of scrimmage sets the tone of football. And speaking of somebody staying home, how is it to play with a fellow Martinsburg Bulldog, Ty Lucas, who plays, I think, guard for you guys? How is it to be able to have that connection with somebody that you've known over the years?
Yeah, I think it's unique in the sense of like, I was a couple years older than Ty Lucas. So especially in high school, dudes grow up fast in high school. So he was a little bit younger. He was a sophomore. I was a senior. So we weren't necessarily very tight, but I could see in his sophomore year that he did have the size and ability to be very good. And then obviously being a huge Martinsburg fan ever since I graduated and ever since I played there, coming and watching the games, seeing him come into the player that he did become, it's pretty cool to look up front and see not only him but also Adam Steely, who I played with at Martinsburg, both starting on the O-line, and kind of just shows how good of a job Martinsburg does, as well as how hard that each of us have worked to get to this point.
All right, I got one more question for you about your offense, and then I want to ask you a little bit about yourself. How is it to have the ability to turn around and hand the ball off to a Ronnie Brown and know that he can go for 80, he can go for 50, and he can punch it in from 2, taking the relief off you that you don't have to throw it 50 times, but you can turn around and you guys can still be effective throughout the year?
Yeah, I think, and it's in the run game, but it's even not in the run game, just what other things he's able to do. I think he's a threat in the pass game. He's a threat on special teams. Really, he's just he's when he got to Shepherd, he was not an amazing player. He had good abilities, but he wasn't an amazing player. And I think he's kind of taken that upon himself to continue to get better every year. And now being able to, hand the ball off and, not know whether it could be a touchdown at any moment. So I think being able to keep drives alive, being able to be a high-powered, offense, it all kind of runs through not only me, but then also being able to hand him the ball and see him do amazing, make things out of nothing. So it definitely takes a lot of. It's definitely a relief, and I think it's part of the reason that we're undefeated is all his capabilities.
Well, I want to focus a little bit on you now. And I know when I spoke to Coach McCook, I asked him about what it's like having the ability to say, hey, man, listen, on 4th and 2, 4th and whatever, I'm going to run with with you, the Harlan Hill Trophy winner, that he can just have all the confidence in the world that you can do what you can do. I want you for a minute just to talk about your preparation that's taking you to the place that you are today, to where all of your dreams and aspirations are at hand because of the way you prepare for the game.
Yeah, I think, whether it's in season, out of season, I kind of, take it upon myself to just, take advantage of the day. And I think, along with that, making sure I'm prepared in all facets of the game, mentally, physically, as well as all the repetitions that I've been able to receive throughout my career. And then really becoming the best player in the country. It's been great, and I'm sure if I was a head coach, I would be very relieved if I had a guy like me on the field, just somebody that you can trust on 4th down, that you rather the ball be in their hands than in the field goal kicker's hands, like no matter where you're at on the field. And I think it's that also, like having that trust and having that relationship, with not only him, but all the coaches on the staff, just making sure that I'm proving to them every day that they can trust me, that, I care about this more than, almost everything in my life. And that, I'm willing to do whatever it takes in order to be successful. And I think that's kind of them trusting me like that has, I think, played a huge part in, my successes that I've been able to see on the field these past couple of years.
All right, let's talk for a moment for the the young high school kid that's aspiring to be what you are today. And I don't think a lot of parents and athletes really understand what it takes to be a college athlete. Can you just go and take us through one day? Like, what is your typical day from the point you wake up to the point that you go sleep? Can you just explain what it is that you do every day that causes you to be a Harlan Hill winner, to be a great quarterback, to be a captain leader? What does it take to be a great student athlete in college?
Well, I think, first and foremost, you got to create, a designated space for classwork. Because if you don't, you can find yourself falling behind, very quickly, especially, during football season where, you're getting things thrown at you. You got places you need to be, new plays you need to learn. We're traveling on these days, all these things. So if you don't designate, a time to be able to handle your schoolwork, you're digging yourself a hole right there. And then, everything I do, I'm a little bit older now, so it's a little bit probably a little odd to some high school kids probably listening, but, every day, I make sure I read something, I make sure I pray. And then, after that, I make sure I'm either getting in the sauna or I'm taking a ice bath. And then, from then, I'm working out. And then after that, after I kind of take care of everything that I want to do personally, then it's time to, we got meetings, we got treatment, keeping my arm intact, keeping it, feeling good and ready to go. And then meetings and practice. So that all that is what a typical day in season looks like. And, really it's going to be terrible, but as long as you love it, it's just some things that you have to do. So I would first advise that you don't play college sports unless you love it. And then, if you do love it, just really take advantage because, there's opportunities everywhere. There's things that, you can really take advantage of, if you truly want to. So really just staying focused, staying locked in, and really understanding that, it's the most important thing in your life at this time in your life. So just take advantage of it and make sure you love it.
Well, we know your time is coming to an end at Shepherd University, and you guys were in the Final Four last year. So are you really taking in everything that you're going through right now, like each and every game, each and every play? Do you realize that it's almost over and that you're really trying to make the best of it? Or are you just not even focusing on that and just focusing on each week? Like, what is your mindset going into these last couple of games?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's easy to kind of just let it kind of pass me by because I'm so, maybe just my mind is in other places like, need to make sure I do this week, and make sure I do it every week because I know I'm at a small school. I know I'm at a disadvantage for, being able to make it to the pros. So it's easy to get caught up in stressing out about, results and stuff like that. But I think I've done a good job of just letting myself be in the moment and kind of understanding that, whatever really is going to happen, it's going to happen. Like my life has been written out far before I lived it, and whatever's going to happen, is going to happen. And I'm ready. I'm ready for whatever. So really just appreciating these last couple months that I got, here playing football at Shepherd, really, really appreciating everybody that I've come into contact with since being at Shepherd, making sure that, I'm keeping up with everybody that I love and appreciate, my family. I wouldn't, obviously wouldn't be here without them. And they're really just trying to take it all in and understand that even when something's not going, even when something sucks, it's like, this is the last time that I'm going to do it. So just taking it all in, there's no more guaranteed football after this year. And I know that, and I'm aware of that, and I'm fighting every day to make that not the case. But I know that is a reality for, 95% of senior athletes, on all levels. So yeah, I think I'm doing a good job of taking it all in, keeping all the things that stress me out at bay, and really just trying to win as many games as possible.
Well, we appreciate you, taking time here. Us at Home Team Sports, man, we're looking forward to covering you guys on Saturday for our first college football games. Coverage starts at 11 o'clock. You guys kick off at 12. We want to wish you the best. You are another example of what we like to see in Home Team Sports, where we like our athletes to excel both on and off the field. I want to wish you luck on our behalf and the best of luck for the rest of the season.
My man, thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, at Home Team Sports TV. Again, my name is Brandon Ashenfelter. Keem, we're going to touch on that chalk talk that everybody at home just got to see with Mr. Tyson Bagent. I think everyone got to see a little bit of the side of Tyson that we see, the people that know him on a personal level. I know Slope had asked him, Josh Brown had asked him about his reasoning staying at Shepherd. We all know Tyson entered his name into the transfer portal last year just to kind of test the waters, to say, and I think he definitely could have played at obviously a higher D1 level or something of that nature. But his reasoning for staying here just goes to show you what type of person he is. His family. He's so family oriented. He has younger siblings that he said he wants to see grow up, not just over, a FaceTime call over the phone. So that just goes to show you what kind of person he is. And like we talked about before, just what he brings to Shepherd University. He touched on, his reasons for staying, and then Josh also asked him, what it's like in the life of an everyday athlete such as himself. I will say that, being a college athlete myself, he puts in more time than a lot of athletes that I've even seen.
And it's the mental aspect.
Yes, and that's what separates him from most is the mental aspect. I mean, even in high school, this guy was waking up at 5:30 in the morning, getting a workout in, getting his good breakfast, getting that run, waking his younger siblings up for school when his dad and mom are on the road, So just the type of person he is, it represents this university and his family so well. And not just on the field, because obviously, like we talked about before, he's setting, he's putting his name in the record books here at Shepherd, and he still has, half a season left.
Yeah.
So, Key, my question to you now is, we talked about how Shepherd had so many great quarterbacks, but, I mean, what do you think separates him from the Jeff Ziembers or the Connor Jessups or the Joel Gordons?
Man, they were all great.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you, after seeing Jeff,
yeah,
I didn't know if we could get a quarterback that would be better than him. And I think with some people, they might debate it, just simply off of personal preference.
Yeah.
And, he was a special quarterback, but I think what separates Tyson from many is the mental aspect. When I spoke about it earlier, when you get his scouting reports, he has a scouting report on every single player that he is going to see in the game. And he breaks down their tendencies on the field, but he also breaks down their mental and emotional IQ.
How emotional they get.
And how he can attack each aspect of a person. And that is so detail-oriented. I don't think many people take that time to be able to do that. When you're watching film, especially as a quarterback, there's already so much that you have to put into it, being that signal caller, having to know the roles of everyone on the field. But not only does he put in the film to do that, he puts in the film to break down every defensive player and their tendencies and their emotional and mental tendencies as well. And I think that is what sets Tyson apart. Well, so what we're going to do right now is we're going to go to a quick commercial break. Keem Holmes and Brandon Ashenfelter from Home Team Sports TV, broadcasting live from Shepherd Ram Stadium.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
We're back at Shepherd University. We have home team sports broadcasting the Shepherd University Rams, ranked number 4 in the nation, versus Lock Haven, which is 1-4. I would like to give a shout out to the coaches of Shepherd, Ernie McCook in his 5th season. Ernie is 36-8 with a .818 win percentage. Offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Tyler Haynes. Defensive coordinator and assistant head coach Josh Klein. Defensive line coach Laverne Beeline. Wide receivers coach Jared Keller and Jason Hare. Defensive backs and special teams coordinator Luke Wright. Outside linebacker coach Matt Clyer. Running backs, tight end, and fullbacks Braden Thompson. Strength and conditioning Nick Atkinson. And strength and conditioning assistant, the Spring Mills alumni, the Bridgewater College great Demetrius Gillespie. And I think Demetrius is also someone else that we all have a high affinity for, for what he does for the community. How much he wants to help the kids of the community. Demetrius has reached out so many times to be able to work, with my son, and I just can't wait to get my son with Demetrius.
Yeah, and he's another kid that just put in the work. He was at a smaller school in Bridgewater College, but started 3 years up there, I believe, and he's another kid that you can look at him and tell that he's the type of kid that gets up every day and he puts his work pants on and he goes to work. So that's one kid that, just like Tyson, the mental aspect, not that it comes easy to them, but they've mastered it at this point, which is, awesome for Shepherd to have him on their staff and just, helping bring these younger guys up, somebody that's been there and done it before, and someone who's roughly around their age as well. It kind of helps when relating to the kids.
And we're going to bring on a special guest. Guest, Travis Bajan.
I think everybody loves this guy.
I'm going to let Travis take my spot. Travis said he don't need none of us. He carries
do it
the
himself.
show.
Yeah.
So we're going to let Travis carry the show. We're going to give you guys a sneak peek into the life that Tyson had his whole life.
Yeah.
Watch.
Oh, I just saw you Monday, didn't I?
You did?
Yeah.
Wow. Look, man, you might have a new career here, young man.
Hey, it's definitely a nice view. But, hey, Travis, I just, I was talking with, my lady last night a little bit, and I tell everybody the story, but I think Tyson might have been maybe 8 or 9 years old playing for the Razorbacks, and I saw him throw a seam route up the seam to a streaking slot receiver. And I knew that day that he was going to be special. What day do you think you knew that Tyson was going to be special?
I am in Ranson, West Virginia. Tyson's about 4.5, 5 years old. We're in the back. We're throwing the ball around, and I'm running the patterns. And he says, and he keeps throwing these perfect balls that are just leading me a little bit. And I'm like, yo, my man, how do you know where to throw it? He's like, my brain tells me where to throw it. And so I knew that day. And honestly, I think we all have an unrealistic love for our family. Sure. There's no doubt. And when you're a dad, athlete, a real boy dad, like a rough dude who has talked so much trash that that your kid, your family, they got to live in the world that you're talking all that trash in. Yeah. So, you just love them and you pray for them to be happy. It starts off, you want them to be, professional athletes and astronauts and doctors, and then it ends up where you love them so much you realize that you just want them to be great people.
Yeah.
And really just don't do something really, really horrible, because it seems like there's all kinds of bad stuff you can get involved in so quick. So for me, he was about 4.5 when I knew.
Well, hey, you and Casey have definitely done a great job with him. Not only him, but you have a younger son there, Ezra, who's got to throw some touchdown passes today as well. So talk to us a little bit about your decision on where you're going to be at today, since you have both game times within an hour apart.
No doubt. So first of all, Casey, I knew a long time ago that I had a great skill set when it came to testosterone, when it comes to coordination, right? Yeah. But I was lacking a few things. Discipline. I think that Casey and her family, they showed me a way of life that was different at a young age. So I knew that I wanted to marry a super tall chick and her dad's big house and money. It all worked out perfect.
That's a perfect combination.
Yeah. And I don't know how she feels about this, but I feel like I'm the luckiest guy in the world and that I married the right person. Like I said, you'd have to ask her if she feels the same.
Well, we need to get her on next week.
No doubt. So today we are splitting duties like we always do. It's kind of a 50-50 thing. She is going to walk Ezra out on senior day. We just got done doing homecoming 2 weeks ago. So that was the sacrifice that we made is I would miss senior walkout. I'll watch this game until about 12:40, and then I'll roll up and we'll watch the Martinsburg Bulldogs. Super tough task today.
Yes, sir.
And hopefully Ezra will rise to the occasion.
I think all Bajents rise to the occasion, don't they?
You know what? I would like to think that I have given them a platform that they think that they're supposed to flourish in situations. And I think that as fathers, as parents, I don't know if you outright want to lie to your kid, but that's the approach I took. All right? I told them that they were blessed by, Zeus himself, at birth. And I continue to tell them that they are destined for what our society feels is great things, knowing that even if you don't make it, you're still going to be all right. You know what I mean? It's all good.
Well, I think that Mr. Tyson Bagent has kind of set that standard for his younger siblings as well. I know you were on TV 10 on Monday, and they even touched on your daughter, who is now a freshman, but playing JV over there at Martinsburg volleyball.
Yes.
And seeing your kids flourish in these sports, not only Tyson, not only Ezra, but your daughters as well, that's got to be exciting.
No doubt.
Got to be exciting.
Listen, if you work the door at the hot nightclub, you get some phone numbers that you don't deserve, okay? And if you're lucky enough to have a son like Tyson, then he will set an example for his siblings, and the parents will get that credit that maybe they don't deserve. So I think that Tyson's done as good as a job as Casey and I of showing that it is still cool to go to school. To do stuff on time, to be super helpful to everyone, and make sure that you don't ever give the illusion that you think you're better than someone else. Because if you do, you've lost that person for the rest of your life, and you're never going to know who you're going to need as time goes on.
Well, that was one thing I had touched on about Tyson is I'm not going to say it was easy for him, but it seems like he's kind of grasped that mental aspect of life. Being that you could look at the kid and tell that he puts in the work in the weight room, eating habits, everything of that nature. Just that goes to show he learned that from someone. And I know you're a pretty put together guy as well, pretty in shape. So, just seeing you. Because I know my first encounter with you actually was me coming to your house and doing a workout in your garage. I don't know if you remember. I was young. I came over with Jake Mills.
Jake. Yeah, we set you up. We set you up.
Man.
We did not bring you there to get you better. We brought you there to humanize you and let Jake know that he had a shot.
Hey, the bad thing about it was Tyson was in there maybe 5, 6, 7 years old maybe, and he was doing ball stands.
How old are you right now?
So I'm 28.
He's 22, so that's 6 years. So 11 years old. So you were 17, something like that. Gotcha.
Yeah. So he's been at it a while. I know you got him started.
I think too. If your dad's a plumber, then for the most part, you can fix the kitchen sink when you're 25 years old. So Tyson grew up at that exact moment when I got my CrossFit education per se. And so immediately we're drinking that Kool-Aid, and we started moving and developing his skill set. And I think honestly, he's got a ton of personal love for that process.
Yes.
And I am a gifted human being who does not always like the process. But if you enjoy the process, then I don't know if he thinks he's working or as much just living.
Yeah. And that goes to show just what type of person he is. If you love, like you said, if you love that process, that just makes everything that much better because you're not dreading that workout or that meal, that nutrition, whatever it may be. But, Travis, we definitely appreciate you coming on and giving us a little insight on this game and Ezra's game as well. Good luck to the Bajan family today. I think Tyson's going to I'm saying right now, I don't know if it's going to be a career day, but I think he's going to put up some big numbers. I think Ronnie Brown might have a career day as well, but I think Shepherd's just going to put up a lot of points, and hopefully we see some good football today.
No doubt. And the most important thing is that we have a chance to go 6-0. We've never been 6-0.
Yes, sir.
What an outstanding day to be a Shepherd Ram.
Hey, big time. It's a big day for Shepherd and a big day for Home Team Sports.
And a big shout out to Chad Broadwater joining the Shepherd College Hall of Fame. He was the quarterback here at Shepherd when I was here in 1995 to 99. So shout out to Chad Broadwater, and congratulations, young man.
Yes, sir. Congratulations to you, Chad.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
We're back at Shepherd Rams Stadium, where we have the nationally ranked 4th in the nation Shepherd Rams versus Lock Haven. First, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Our title sponsor today is Shelton Tree Services. We have Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance. We have a host of new sponsors, HD's awesome. Barbecue and Soul Food Catering. HD's Barbecue, I'll tell you, we just had the beef ribs the other day, and yeah, HG really put his foot in it. It's just, without our sponsors, VFW Post 3522, Catro Law, this wouldn't be possible. So we definitely want to thank you guys for believing in us, for giving us the platform to be able to broadcast in the living rooms of many. This is all because of you. That Home Team Sports TV gets to produce and gets to broadcast their first collegiate game between the Shepherd Rams and Lock Haven.
It's a great day. It is a great day. Like Bajan said, it's a great day for Shepherd football, but I think it's a even greater day for Home Team Sports TV. Just to, even have the opportunity to be up here doing this, not only for, Home Team, but for the community as well, because that's who we're really here for. That's who we're doing it for. We want to make sure that you guys have different avenues to watch, these great football games.
And for us at Home Team Sports TV, we all were athletes.
Yes, sir.
And some, may have achieved a little bit more success than others, but we're all athletes. We've all played these games at a pretty good level, and we wanted to be able to have the children of the future, to have a platform to be seen by many that don't often really want to come into West Virginia and see, that we have some great athletes here as well. And I think that's what makes things, so important for us at Home Team Sports TV, is to be able to provide a platform that maybe we did not have at the time that we played. But just because we didn't have it doesn't mean that you can't have it.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it right there. I think that's what life is all about, is trying to just move everything forward. And that's kind of where, TV10, I think, picked it up maybe around my junior or senior year. We started seeing more of our games broadcasted. And now, you see all of, high school games around the area, Shepherd football games. You see all that broadcasted. And I think that just goes to show what type of community we have over here in the Eastern Panhandle. Everybody just trying to be there for the kids. Yes. I know some of these athletes here at Shepherd might think they're grown men, but they're still kids. Trust me. Once you get to 28, 29, 30, that's when you start feeling, your grown man stuff, and you got to pay bills and all that good stuff. But that's like you said, that's what Home Team is all about. Just trying to move everything forward and give people the opportunity that maybe we didn't have growing up.
Yes. So right now, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the 2 deep for each team, and I'll start with Shepherd, and Brandon, you could do Lock Haven. Starting on offense for Shepherd is left tackle number 60, Chandler Brown, and his backup is 67, Fleetwood Wright, who's a redshirt freshman. Left guard, Wyatt Pelicano, redshirt sophomore. His backup is 74, Curtis Jefferson. Center, number 72, Adam Stiley, senior. Backup, number 68, James Bell. Right guard, number 75 from Martinsburg, the redshirt freshman, 6'2", 305, Ty Lucas. His backup is number 54, Donovan Reiser, sophomore. Right tackle, and congratulations, Joey Fisher, for being invited to the Hula Bowl, which is one of the greatest and most important all-star games that you can have in college football.
Yep.
He is a sophomore. Number 71, Brandon Carr. We have tight end Brian Walker. Number 44 is his backup, Jake Rosnich. The star wide receiver, number 13, Marlon Cook. His backup is number 0, Alfonso Ferre. Starting wide receiver, Kenny Edelin, freshman. Backup Dustin Fisher, redshirt sophomore. Star running back and consistent PSAC player of the week, Ronnie Brown, the junior. He is backed up by number 6, Avon Holly and Blake Hartman. And the elite Harlan Hill winner, Tyson Bazin. And his backup is the sophomore, Christian Etchinson.
Yes, sir. And I will go ahead and introduce Lock Haven's defense. Starting at defensive end, we have number 53, Lajeer Whaley. He is a freshman. His backup is Robert Miller, number 95. He's a junior. Defensive tackle, we have Devontae Embry-Banks. Looks like he's a sophomore. Nate Kamick is his backup. The other defensive tackle, we've got Alfred Mania with the backup Thomas Kai. Linebacker is number 41, a new Okunboa. Number 24 is his backup, Jadarian Johnson. Linebacker as well, Rodney Akwa. Another linebacker, Ethan Fike. Their other linebacker is Austin Barber, number 2. And we've got cornerbacks, Mason Gray and Victor Hunt. And at safety, Davion and Kazir Henry.
And we have the kickoff fair caught at the 11-yard line for Lock Haven. And that's a new rule they have in college football. When
Yes.
you fair catch it, and I think you automatically get it at the 25-yard line.
Yeah, it's essentially a touchback. Yes, sir. And, with somebody like Lock Haven who really just wants to get their offense on the field now and see what they can do, maybe that is the best bet. Shepherd always has good special teams, so I'm sure, we all saw that they were flying down the field, so that probably was the best call for that returner in that moment.
So Quan Williams and Chase Holmes are the big threats for Lock Haven.
Yes, sir.
And their quarterback is Easton Turner, the graduate, 6'3", 195. We have 2 wide receivers to both sides. Oh, great run by Lock Haven. Number 8, DeAndre Wakefield. He is just a sophomore, and he's small, but he's built stout.
Yes, and he runs hard. We talked about him a little bit in the pregame, Keem. If Shepherd wants to have a good day, they have to stop number 8.
Yes.
He is their threat. Like we talked about, they do have threats at the receiver, but number 8, if he goes, they go. So
we have Quan Williams to the right and 2 wide receivers to the left. Tight end in the backfield with Wakefield to his left. Easton Turner takes the snap. Gus Cox back to pass. Looks around. He throws the ball over Wakefield's head. Incomplete pass. It would be a 3rd and 5. And he had room.
Yes, he did.
He had room over on that left-hand side if Easton Turner can get him a good pass. So let's see going forward if they're going to take advantage of Shepherd maybe not being a little bit disciplined in the flats.
Yeah, and I think that ball should have been completed. I mean, it looked like he didn't really follow through on his throw, overextended a little bit on the throw as well, and really didn't have any bend to it in his waist. So I think that's why the ball went high and essentially was an incomplete pass. So
they're running the condensed twins.
Yep. Here he is out of the backfield again. You called it, Keem. You called it, Keem. Yep.
To the 50-yard line, 1st and 10, Lock Haven. And sometimes, like I said, when you play the game and you know the game, you can kind of tell how a coach is trying to attack you. And you can just see that when they went to that early, that they felt like the Shepherd is a little bit undisciplined in the flats.
Well, and, as a linebacker, the game has changed a lot to where really you could take your read step and you knew it was a run or a pass, where now it's RPOs and everything's getting thrown at you, so you have to be a little more hesitant than what you used to be as a linebacker. But that's just the game of football evolving over time. And, like we talked about, number 8, he's going to get a good workload today. Yes. Shepherd just has to make sure that they contain him and let somebody else beat him if so.
In an inside handoff to Wakefield, and he is smacked at the line by number 4 for Shepherd, and Nelio Pena, the redshirt sophomore.
And it looks like number 8 is going to go ahead and take a break, so we're seeing number 20, his backup, E.J. Sutton.
And Shepherd has a bend but don't break defense.
Yes.
You would like to see them today. I hope we can be a little bit more dominant and expose our physicality on them and be able to get points on the board, get good field position, and impose our will as the number 4th ranked team in the nation.
Well, see, and I think that's what today's game is going to be all about is, on paper it looks like Shepherd is the better team. Hopefully they do come out of here with the win, but I think it's a statement as well to the rest of the nation, to just let them know, like, hey, we're number 4. We can put up a lot of points, and we can stop a good player in Wakefield as well.
And that was great pressure by Malik Holloway right there that caused the pass to be early. There really wasn't any separation from Quan Williams and Shepherd's defensive back, Kassir Henry. But the pressure, seeing Shepherd be able to generate pressure early bodes well for them. So you see twins to both sides with the running back to his right. Easton Turner takes it. Number 1, Malik Holloway gets pressure,
and
he is out of bounds, so it'll be a 4th and 9 for Lock Haven. And once again, it was pressure by Malik Holloway, number 9, the defensive end, that flushed Easton Turner out and allowed Shepherd's cornerbacks to be able to put that pressure defense on them. Because we all know, like, when you really watch the great teams like from Seattle when they had the Legion of Boom, it was really great pass rush.
Yeah, of course.
That allowed them to play the style of cornerback and safety that they were able to play.
I think all football fans know that most of the games are won and lost in those trenches. And if you watch Malik Holloway throughout the day, it looks like he just has a motor that does not stop.
Yes,
he can be blocked, double team, and he's still fighting to try to not necessarily make the play, but do his job to maybe free up a linebacker to make that tackle as well.
Exactly. And Shepherd will have their first possession of the game. We will get to see Bajent, Ronnie Brown, and Brandon, we talked about this. Lock Haven gives up 221 yards rushing on the ground. So we look forward to see if Shepherd can impose their will on the line, and Ronnie Brown and Hartman and Holloway have big games.
I think you go ahead and test the waters just like they did right there. It looks like there was a little bit of miscommunication maybe with Bajent and number 1 over there. But like we talked about, I think that we definitely need to go ahead and, attack that rushing defense of Lock Haven. But they're going to let Bajent throw it around as well and do what he does.
And today we have E.J. Morgan starting at wide receiver. And I think the miscommunication was E.J. hasn't had a lot of time.
There it is, tight end.
Great pass from Bajent to number 87, the tight end, Brian Walker, the senior, 6'5", 240.
And we talked a little bit about him in pregame as well. I told you I'm a little biased when it comes to tight ends, but he is a guy that you watch him on a play-to-play. He blocks very well, but he also gives you that threat at receiver, and that just separates him from, a lot of teams, they use a two tight end set. They might have a tight end that blocks better than the other, but it looks like they've got the full package there, Mr. Walker.
And on that play, there was good penetration by Lock Haven, but for everybody at home, when you're a running back, if the play is called to the inside, even if you can't get many yards, you just keep it in the inside and you minimize the loss. Ronnie Brown loses 3 yards on that play, and it'll be a 2nd and 13. We have twins to the right side. We have Ronnie Brown to his right, and we will have EJ to his left, singled up.
I think they might take a shot here. Look at Ronnie Brown. Yep. Makes first guy miss. Yep.
And a great run by Ronnie Brown to be 1st and 10 Rams.
And that is exactly what he brings to this football program, just so much explosiveness. And Tyson knows that, you get it in his hands, it might be a 3-yard pass, but he might turn it into a 70-yard touchdown. So Ronnie Brown is definitely a vital part to this offense and making it go.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Rams from the Lock Haven 38-yard lines with 11 minutes and 15 seconds left in the first quarter. Is 0-0.
Empty set.
Trips to the left. Bajent making calls at the line. He scans the field. Pass the ball to number 87, his tight end for his 2nd catch of the game. Mr. Brian Walker down to the 19-yard line. So Shepherd enters the red zone.
I was just watching Brian Walker on that play. I kind of singled him out a little bit. The route he just ran was excellent. I mean, he stemmed the receiver, he put his foot in the ground, and he got straight across, that yard line, which is exactly how you want your tight end to run the digs. Obviously, Tyson saw the window, and he threw him open, but, that was a great route by Brian Walker.
And Tyson Bajent will bring Ronnie Brown back into the backfield. We have a single receiver to the left. It's a power set.
I think we'll go ahead and take the shot.
Fade to number 0.
Yep.
Touchdown Rams. Alfonso Ferre, the junior. And how we say it? Touchdown a whole herd of Rams.
Yeah. Hey. Well, and the thing is, you know, Keem, we talked about the rushing attack, but I think we might have only saw 2 runs that first possession. So obviously they're going to let Tyson do what he does, but I think we're going to see a lot more of Ronnie Brown throughout the game.
Well, and I think that was a great play call by the offensive coordinator, because he actually, the set that was on the field, really they were going to run the ball. With Lock Haven struggling against the run, when you see a set like that, you assume that they're going to run a power set. Well, what they did is they used it to single up.
Missed the extra point.
And you can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't have that, because that's a momentum. That's a change of momentum. When you just score a touchdown, you get up 6-0, and then your kicker comes in and misses an easy extra point.
That kind of kills the morale. But we know the Shepherd. I assume probably next time when they score, they'll probably just go for 2. Take that chance to just earn that point back. But, we saw what we have been seeing from that Shepherd offense is the passing game, everything run through, number 2 and Tyson. Hats off to that O-line, too, because that pocket that he just had on all of his throws was amazing. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. For him to be able to have a clean pocket like that, examine the field, and then just be able to step up and trust that he can make that throw, that also goes into why Tyson is who he is. He has a great offensive line in front of him. All-American and Joey Fisher. So,
yeah, and with 10:24 left in the first quarter, Shepherd is up 6-0, and that was a possession where Shepherd, they pretty much established their dominance of offense over the defense.
So he's going to take it this time.
And there's a
big hole.
And a great run from Lock Haven there, be down at the 37-yard line. But what we've seen so far is we've seen real short kicks on the kickoff. The first one, I think they fair caught it at the 15-yard line. This one, they caught it running at the 16-yard line. It was able to bring it out to the Lock Haven 37, where Lock Haven would take their second possession of the first quarter down 6-0. And they actually had a little bit of success the last possession with Wakefield.
Yes.
Let's see if they get back to that. Well, they have trips to the left.
And I think they're going to open up the playbook a little more here, Keem, and go ahead and throw it around to see how well Mr. Easton Turner does.
Inside handoff to Wakefield, and he is tackled by number 10 for Shepherd, Mr. JT Kamamo. Actually, if I'm mistaken, that was actually number 0, Solomon Alexander.
Yep.
My apologies, Mr. Alexander.
And it looks like he's a graduate, from Shippensburg. So
we have twins to both sides. Easton Turner takes the snap.
Inside
slant to number 6. A great defense by the Sam linebacker and Nilio Pena, the redshirt sophomore. And that was great because, the hardest routes to stop, especially as a linebacker, is the slant.
Yes. There's no doubt about it at all. And Pena is a kid that he's got to be a hard-nosed kid because he's more or less a DB and a linebacker all in one. You're going to ask him to cover, but also come up and make plays in the run game as well. So he's definitely a vital part of that Shepherd defense.
He's 5'11", 180.
Yeah. And
playing Sam linebacker.
Yeah. That one thing about Shepherd is they're not very big, but they're very physical, and they're going to get after you.
Yes, they always have. That's going to be a pass interference, and it was highly unnecessary by number 2. It was a highly unnecessary play by Dante Harrison. The ball was drastically thrown over his head.
Yeah.
He didn't need to be as handsy, but it's going to be at least a 5-yard penalty. I don't know if that's an automatic first down. But
I don't believe so.
The automatic
first down. Yeah, it is. Yeah. One thing about being a DB is it's so hard not to use your hands excessively. They teach you get your hands on, hip to hip, get to that near hip. So it's definitely hard to be a DB. I think it's one of the hardest positions in football outside of quarterback, of course. But hats off to any DBs that have to deal with everything that they have to deal with. And it looks like we got a little 5-yard hitch route. A great ball by number 7.
Yeah, they actually went empty set. So you see right now where they're trying to test the Rams a little bit through the air, testing that Rams secondary.
Well, they get to throwing it around, nickel and dime them here and there, and then they get their big playmaker, Wakefield. They get him the ball. Maybe that'll open some things up for him as well.
So you have twins to both sides, and you have Wakefield back to his right. 2nd and 5. Easton Turner looks around. He takes the snap. Shepard comes with a blitz. Outside in the flats, and it'll be first and 10 at the Shepard 43-yard line. And once again, they're taking advantage of the flats. And Shepard came with a blitz right there.
Yes.
Brought a little bit of pressure. And Easton Turner
went
to his quick hot read
that's
to
a
the
great
dump
hot
down.
Read, yep.
and got an easy first down.
Yeah. And I think that's what the Lock Haven coaches are probably preaching to their quarterback is, let's make the easy plays. Let's play clock management. We are playing the number 4 team in the nation. So let's try to control this game as best as possible. And it looks like he's doing a pretty good job so far.
And they see Wakefield in motion to the pass. And it's a big hit by number 1 for Shepard, Devon Lynch, the sophomore. And Shepard's defense is really young.
Yes, they are. Yeah.
They got a few seniors, but
I think they've got 2 sophomores there, linebacker, yeah.
But that is a complete pass, so it'll be 2nd and 7 for for Lock Haven at the Shepard 39-yard line.
Look to be having a little more success this drive than what they did the last, and I think that's good for them and good for this atmosphere to just make it a competitive football game.
Easton Turner inside handoff to Wakefield, and he is tackled at the 36-yard line, the 37-yard line. So it would be a 3rd and 5 for Shepard. And the defensive bell.
Shepard
University bell rings.
I heard it.
For 3rd down to try to get the kids and the Shepard defense off the field. And you would think, obviously we did a little bit of research on Lock Haven, and they've only had 2 field goal attempts all season.
Yes.
This is probably 2-down territory.
I'd say it is. There's no point in punting it here. And like you said, the field goal kicker, it's not like he's the most experienced with only 2 field goals on the year. So I don't see why they wouldn't make this 2-down territory. And it looks like what
an amazing play.
I think he caught that behind his back, didn't he?
The ball was tipped, and the individual was on the ground, and he
that's
caught the ball for a 1st down, Lock Haven. That is amazing. That's an amazing play.
Man, that was awesome right there, Keem. I mean, you don't see that too often. A guy laying on the ground on his stomach and catches it on his back. And that's awareness, though.
And it was. And once again,
a little bit of luck
when you watch this game over again, Wakefield was open in the flats.
Yes, he was. I was just about to say that it looks like Easton Turner missed his guy right there, but a completed pass is a completed pass. So
you have twins to both sides. Wakefield to his right. Easton Turner looks around. He scans the field, scans the defense, and he takes the snap.
There he is
Wakefield
again.
in the flat again, and he drops it this time.
He's got to catch that. He has to catch it.
And I think that's what they're trying to do. If Shepard makes that adjustment with Wakefield in the flat, does it create an opening in the middle of the field?
I believe it will. Obviously, if you know football, you know that if you're going to take that away, then something else is vulnerable. But one thing I'll say about Shepard is those defensive linemen, they get after it. I mean, Lock Haven has their work cut out for them today, and I see a Martinsburg graduate out there too, Matthew Bednarski. He's a very big kid, mean, just nasty.
That's an errant pass right there.
Yeah, incomplete pass there. It looks like he was I don't know if that was a little miscommunication or what, but he threw it about 5 yards behind the receiver there.
An errant pass on that slant right there. So we will actually have a 3rd and 10 for Lock Haven at the 31. And once again, Brandon, you will hear that Shepard 3rd down bell where we are encouraging the Shepard Rams to make a big play. Last time they batted the ball down, they didn't get the turnover.
Hopefully, I think that had a lot to do with luck, the last one as well. So hopefully that doesn't happen this time, and Shepard can get their offense off the field.
And it seems like Lock Haven is content with dinking and dunking their way down the field.
Yeah, and honestly, you can't go for the big play.
Interception by Shepherd Rams.
That might be a touchdown, Keem.
Looks like he's at the 40.
Kyle Smith
he's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. It shuts down a whole herd of Rams. Number 2. Beautiful play by the freshman, Dante Harrison.
That's awesome right there, Keem. The way he broke on that ball, I honestly thought it was a completed pass, but he was on that receiver's hip, and he made the right break and broke just in time. So he's got to be an athlete too to take it to the house. Yeah.
80-yard interception return by number 2, the freshman Dante Harrison, has the Rams leading 12-0 with 6:08 left in the first quarter. Now we definitely need to make sure that we get this extra point right.
I don't think he's gonna miss 2 in a row. I don't know if you want to walk over to the sideline if you miss 2 in a row and have to deal with Coach McCook.
No, I don't think you do. And the kick is up.
Good hold.
And it is good.
Yep, good
kick.
It is
13-0 our Shepherd Rams. Now, Brandon, like I said, I'm going to be a little bit of a homer. I'm a Shepherd Rams.
Yeah, oh yeah.
2009. So definitely a lot of pride in this game. But that was a big play.
It was. And Shepherd's defense always makes those kind of plays week in and week out. Whether it be just stopping somebody on a big third down, getting off the field, or making, turning an interception and a turnover into points. And I think that goes to just the testament of Coach Klein over there. I know he's been over there for a while. He was I'm not sure if he was the D coordinator when I was in school at Fairmont, but I know he's been on the coaching staff for a very long time, and he's kind of set that standard and just has his players buy into it. And I think that, again, goes back to what Coach McCook talked about, the Shepherd way. And Coach Klein does a good job of putting the players in the right position, but then they buy into what he's, coaching. So
we will have Shepherd kicking off for the third time of the game. The last 2 kickoffs have been high and short. Let's see if they try to change things up this time. See,
kick a little longer now, yeah.
A little bit longer this time.
There you go. Just keep it there. Yep, touchback.
So they just made that adjustment, and that's why I wanted to see if an adjustment was going to be made, because they were getting pretty decent field position.
Yeah.
Off the kickoffs.
Maybe the kicker just needed to warm his leg up a little bit. Maybe that's all it was. Who knows?
It's a little bit chilly today. A little
bit
windy,
it is.
I think that might have been the strategy coming into the game.
Yeah.
They might have seen something in film where they felt like they could take advantage and maybe get them pinned back a little bit. But, it really didn't work the first couple times. And these are college athletes. These are college coaches. So they're going to make adjustments.
Oh, of course.
And obviously they made that adjustment, and Shepherd has adjusted already as well.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that separates Shepherd from a lot of different programs is their coaches aren't afraid to deviate from that game plan if need be. Yeah. They make adjustments on the go, and it looks like we got to delay a game here. I don't know. That's game management on the quarterback there.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't blame anybody else. You just have to get your team lined up on the ball and just get it snapped.
And you can't have that.
No, not against number 4 team in the nation.
And with a change of possession.
Yeah.
You can't have that on a change of possession.
Cannot, yeah.
So now it'll be 1st and 15 from the Lock Haven 20, and you will have twins to both sides.
And I think right now they might if I'm Shepherd, I might send some pressure, see if we can get some pressure on number 7 there.
RPO when the quarterback drops the ball, and it'll be a loss of 4. So it'll be 2nd and 18, maybe a loss of 3, 2nd and 18 from the Lock Haven 13-yard line. And this is not what you want.
Not at all.
If you're a Lock Haven fan.
And just to start off the drive with that delay of game, it just puts everything in shambles. Once one thing goes wrong, then everything else just kind of follows. So.
And it is a little bit colder.
Yeah.
And I do see where Easton Turner does not wear gloves, but I've seen him blowing his hands a few times earlier when they were throwing. They tried to run an RPO, and it seemed like he just lost control of the ball. So you have twins to the right, single receiver to the left. Easton Turner with the quick out route.
Incomplete pass.
And an incomplete
defense
pass.
by number 22.
And it looked like that ball really wasn't thrown particularly well as well. I don't know if if the ball might have been a little bit short.
It did look like it was short. Again, it looks like he is. I don't know if he is extending too much with his feet or what it is, but it looks like everything's either high or low for him today. So, hopefully, I know the pregame jitters, he still needs to get into the groove of things. So hopefully we see him get into a groove and start taking
Shepard's
over.
in it 3 deep.
Shepard's in it 3 deep. Nice little one-hand snag.
And he is tackled by number 9, Malik Holloway. He has been all over the field.
Man, he's not your typical D end.
He was a tackle right there.
Yeah, just to watch that kid, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but he has a motor that just you don't see very often. And he's a smaller, obviously, defensive lineman, D end, whatever position he may play. But there's one thing about that kid. I bet you he lives by the motto, heart over size, because he dominates people, even people that you come in and you're like, wow, that guy's huge. You see Malik Holloway doing his thing week in and week out. So,
and that comes from the weight room as well.
Yes, nice little punt
that's
here.
The weight room. And
looks like he has a hole.
The junior from Shepherd, Rodney Dorsey, 5'9" out of Frederick, Maryland. He went to Tuscarora High School.
Looks like he transferred from Towson too. That's pretty.
And that's his second good return.
And I think that's one thing that Shepherd's kind of done very well over the years is they recruit those kids from your smaller D1s, your Towsons, your UConn, stuff like that. And that makes Shepherd who they are. They bring in some of those D1 transfers. And
we 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. We have twins to the left.
Got to roll out, and you got an open receiver here.
Bootleg.
E.J. Morgan.
E.J. to the 10. It looks like we might have a
face mask. It looks like, yeah.
It'll be Shepherd and 10 Rams. It'll be 1st and 10 Rams at the Shepherd 5 after this face mask. But it might be a half the distance to the goal.
Yeah, I believe so. And that fake by Tyson, that threw the defense off.
You very rarely see a play-action bootleg.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot anymore because the game's evolved into the RPOs and stuff. But his fake and Ronnie Brown's fake as well, that set that whole play up. They thought it was a run, and here comes Tyson out of the backfield with not only one, but, he might have even had Marlon Cook if he would have wanted to go for the deep ball. But
and EJ, the young man has had a great first quarter.
Yeah. And I think that's what's so dangerous about this Shepherd offense is they just have so many weapons. We haven't even got to see Ryan Beach touch the ball yet, but he's another one that, and here we go. Look, here we go. Ryan Beach
in motion.
Yep, and it's a touchdown. Well, might be straight touchdown, Rams.
A whole herd of Rams.
Yeah.
Number 9, Mr. Beach.
Just like I just touched on, they just have so many athletes. He is one that. Last year he really made a name for himself, so teams key on him a little more now, in which they have to. But it's always nice to get your playmakers the ball, whether it be on, little stuff like that, little pop passes that we call them, or down the field. He brings a lot to this offense as well.
And with 4:08 left in the first quarter, we have Shepherd leading 19-0 with the extra point coming up. Extra point is down. It is up. And it is good. And Shepherd leads 20-0 with 4:08 left in the first quarter. And we've seen Ronnie Brown get the ball in his hands. We've seen E.J. Morgan get the ball in his hand. We just saw Ryan Beach get the jet sweep for the touchdown.
We got Brian Walker with 2 catches.
Yes, Brian Walker, the tight end.
Spreading it out a little bit.
And that's what makes Shepherd so lethal, and that's what makes Tyson Bagent so lethal as a quarterback, is he spreads the ball around that you cannot key on one person.
Yeah, and that just – he's the type of player that he's not a one-sided field guy. He's going to examine that whole field. Pre-snap, he's so smart, he almost probably knows where he's going every pre-snap. But he's doing a great job of just spreading it around. Games like this are when you start spreading it around to your different receivers and showing them love so that they get that confidence and built up around the right time in the season. So we're down the road, you may need them, whether it be for injuries or anything of that nature. But, that just goes to show how deep this Shepherd offense really is.
And the kickoff, he is down at the 20-yard line, met by a whole host of Rams. And that adjustment, that was actually a different kicker at that time. Number 69. That's definitely a different kicker. Number 69 for the Rams.
James
Bozak.
Yeah.
The freshman from Alexandria and went to Hayfield High School. That was an amazing kick.
Yes, it was.
So, Hayfield, Virginia. 21-yard line. Lockhaven will take over. We will have trips to the left.
And they need to get something going here, Keem. They don't want this to get out of hand.
And I haven't seen them try to get the ball to Quan Williams yet.
Yeah, I'm shocked as well. I mean,
fumble.
Looks like Lockhaven got it back there. But that's something that on film, I was doing a little homework this week and watching. They got number 3 and number 10 involved a little more than what we're seeing here. Yes. But it might be a testament to Shepard just taking them away as a threat. I mean,
what we're seeing right there, they actually had a safety over top of him. So he definitely has their respect. But Chase Holmes is singled up on the left side, and he is their second lead receiver. So let's see if they take a chance. And let's see now down 20-0, they're going to take that deep shot.
I think you have to. You have to try to put some points on the board. And at this point, there's no more being conservative. You just need to go out and play football. And it looks like he missed his back again in the flat. I mean, I know Mr. Dwayne Grantham was there if he would have caught it. Martinsburg product again, yeah. You see a lot more of that, the hometown kids staying home and playing for their Shepherd Rams, and I love it. I mean, if I would have had the opportunity, Shepherd, this atmosphere for D2 football is unlike any other.
I loved it here.
Yeah, and I mean, just the fans show up week in and week out. The tailgate is a nice little party in the parking lot as well. You just have fan faithfuls here in Shepherdstown, and it's a great place to be if you want to play football.
Yeah, Shepherd University is a beautiful
Look at the middle of the field.
Quan Williams is wide open.
See, and that's what they need to do, Keem.
To the 45-yard line, to the 40-yard line, 1st and 10, Lockhaven, and that is their threat.
Yes.
He is their elite playmaker, Mr. Williams, and we was just talking about see if they're going to try to do different ways to get him the ball, but he is that threat for them.
Yeah, and he's only a sophomore, so he's got a lot. He's got years to build on. Easton Turner, he's a graduate, so probably these guys may or may not have that camaraderie yet. But you can just look at number 3 and watch the way he's running these routes, and you can tell that he is a threat on their offense. So
with 2:39 left in the first quarter, Shepherd comes with the blitz.
Oh, they're coming.
He throws the ball to Chase Holmes, and a great defense by the Shepherd cornerback. That was great defense. And Lockhaven's fans are calling for a penalty, but that's definitely great defense.
He got his head around. They were both being physical with their hands. That's a no call. That's a good no call by the referee.
And that is the freshman, Derek Adams. Freshman.
Yeah, I think he is somebody that actually Travis Bagent, like he talked about before, he's a big Shepherd guy, obviously. His son's here, but he knows everybody that plays on this team on a personal level, and he had told me about number 22 and said he was just going to be a beast. Yeah. And I think he's proving that this year. I mean, to be a freshman and even be playing on this Shepherd team is
it's a free play,
and
it could have been picked off by Grantham, but they actually stopped the play. Typically, they give you a free play when you take that shot down the field.
Yeah,
but the Shepherd's going to be offsides on number 45.
Yep, and he's coming right out of the game too.
Number 45, Nathan Mule, the freshman from Jefferson High School. And typically, what you really want to see in that situation, and I know they stopped the play.
Yeah.
But typically they don't stop the play, and if they don't, you really want to take that deep shot down the field because you're going to get the ball back anyway.
Yeah. I know most people, and I think that center even did it, as soon as you see them cross that line, you're supposed to snap it now so that you do get that free play. So it might be a technicality rule or something of that nature, the reason they stopped it, but
and that route was run by the linebacker for Shepherd.
Looks like a little miscommunication. I think the quarterback thought number 16 was just going to keep streaking, and he turned it into a comeback. So
the coach is talking to him right now. But we're going to have a holding penalty on Lockhaven, which is going to take them back 10 yards. So they gain 5 yards only to lose 10 yards, which would be a plus or minus of -5.
Well, see, and that's the type of things that you need to avoid always in football, but especially when you're playing somebody of the caliber of Shepherd. They're not somebody that's going to let those mistakes just be there. They're going to make those mistakes hurt you in some type of way.
And especially when you're already down 3 touchdowns
yes.
as well. You had to play crisp football to be able to get back into the game. So we have twins to both sides. We have a running back to his right. Easton Turner scans the field, looks at the defense. There's 2 deep safeties. Shepard will go back, and they will drop the ball to the flats. Great blocking by the wide receivers of Lock Haven.
Number 3 on the tackle, Dwayne Grantham.
But that was great blocking by our wide receivers that allowed them to pick up all 10 yards that they just lost. So
and
we will have a 3rd and 5.
To have somebody like that, and it looks like both of Lock Haven's running backs are both sophomores, so that's a good sign for them in the future. Excuse me, but it looks like, he's Mr. Wakefield's backup, E.J. Sutton, and he looked like he had a little burst to him as well. So to have those 2 guys in your backfield is huge for them. Looks like we got number 82, the tight end, lined up in the wing set.
Easton Turner goes to the flats
look
again.
at the flats. Oh.
And the ball is dropped. But as you can tell, Lock Haven sees that the flats are open in this Shepard defense. And they're actually keeping their offense out on the field. Ugh. It is 4th and 5 in Lock Haven territory with 1 minute and 25 seconds left in the first quarter, but Lock Haven already feels the pressure that this game could potentially get away from them. Now, do you think they snap the ball, or do you think they try to take advantage of maybe some emotion and try to get Shepard to jump off sides?
I'm probably just going to try to draw them off sides maybe and then call a timeout and I'm punting. Maybe that's a little too conservative and that's not what they want to do, but it looks like they're going to go for it and see what they can get.
And the ball is batted down and intercepted by Shepard University
0.
Solomon Alexander, the graduate assistant, and Shepard will take over at the 36-yard line of Lock Haven. And that's a little bit of desperation now.
And you don't want that right now.
In the first quarter, you're down 20-0. Shepard has a high-powered offense. They're a great team. To be able to put your defense in this type of situation right now in the first quarter, that is something that I don't know if
I understand why they did it, but I think I'm just going to play it safe and, have Shepard start on their side of the 50 rather than mine.
We have trips to the right. Bajan scans the field.
He has all day to throw.
Marlon Cook catches the ball at the 30-yard line. He runs his cornerback over, and he is out of bounds at the 23-yard line. And you see right there, a little bit of emotion.
Yes.
A little bit of frustration. Marlon they didn't tackle him. He didn't go to the ground, and he got up and he pushed him a little bit. And that's a little bit of frustration right there.
Well, if you have any type of competitive nature to you, being down 20-0 just does not sit right. And you might see some of that extracurricular activity going on because of this. But here we go, Tyson rolling out, making the smart play, just throwing it away, playing the next play, game management like we call it.
And obviously, especially playing the quarterback position, you've played that position.
Yes, sir.
And my son plays that position now. You never want to throw the ball late to the outside the flats.
Not at all. A lot of the traditional rules have changed over the years. Patrick Mahomes, I'd like to say, he changed the quarterback game a little bit just because of the different arm angles and throws and risky things he does. It makes the kids nowadays do it, but I think it's definitely helped the game evolve a little more. But you are 100% correct. You never want to throw the ball late across the middle. There's incomplete pass.
The ball was caught initially by number 3, the wide receiver for Shepard, and it was yanked away by the Lock Haven.
That is great defense.
Defensive back. So now we will have a 3rd and 10 from the 24-yard line.
And you see that a lot more now, Keem, where these defensive back coaches are literally teaching their kids, soon as the ball is coming, you should be shooting a punch or a hand through their hands to the ball. And that's part of being a DB or in safety nowadays.
So the freshman, Victor Hunt, with great play right there for Lock Haven, he takes the ball from the junior, Ronnie Dorsey, who's had a great game with the return game. And it'll be 3rd and 10 Shepard from the 24-yard line.
I think we got another delay of game here.
We have a delay of game right now.
It looks like we got 2 of those now. So both quarterbacks, maybe they're a little bit of game jitters or what it may be, but they need to pay attention to that play clock a little more.
But we're also seeing Ernie McCook get some players into the game right now.
Yeah.
You know, you have Dorsey in the game. You have Alfonso Foray. He's in the game. You have number 87.
And he look Alfonso. He looks like to be a Lackawanna transfer as well. So that's been a good hot spot for Shepherd, that Lackawanna Community College up there in PA.
And the ball to Alfonso, and he is quickly met.
Yeah.
And it will be a 4th down for Shepherd. Now,
I think they kick it. I mean, there's no reason to go for it here. You might as well. I mean, they might even let the clock run down.
Let the clock run out. Talk about what you want to do. If you really want to kick
I think they might try to draw them off sides, maybe. But I think they're probably just going to let this clock run down. We got 12 seconds left.
And it made Lock Haven take a timeout.
I'm shocked that he just did that because I'm thinking I see Shepherd's field goal team getting lined up over there, so I'm thinking the Shepherd's probably going to kick the field goal. But, it's better to be safe than sorry. So that timeout there, you can't knock it, but it might come down to bite you later on.
So now the option of letting the time run out and going into the second quarter to have that 2-3 minutes of time to be able to talk about it, that option is eliminated now.
Yes.
So Shepherd, they're going to show their hand. Either we're going to go for it or we are going to kick the field goal. But I think the rush timeout by Lock Haven is the coaches feeling the pressure of the Shepherd offense. Shepherd's already put up 20 points. Your team's down 20-0. You've had some success throwing the ball to the flats, but nothing, no really.
Looks like they're setting their offense out here too, Keem. So that timeout might have made that decision a little easier on Ernie and the coaching staff over there. It's just, hey, at this point, we've been having our way on offense with them, so let's go ahead and just take the chance.
So I'm looking to see someone go down the seams.
Might just try to draw them off, and then Tyson making the call at the line. Calling out the mic, letting them know.
I think Shepherd tried to draw them all sides. I don't think they have. Well, they actually snapped the ball.
0. Okay.
Right down the seams.
First down.
What did I say?
Yeah.
Right down the seams.
And that's that just goes to show you how much trust they have in Tyson. Not saying that they don't trust their field goal kicker, but when you have the reigning Harlan Hill Trophy winner back there for you, you can do things like that.
So at the end of 1, we have our Shepherd Rams 20, Lock Haven Bald Eagles 0. We'll take a quick commercial break. This is Home Team Sports TV from Shepherd University, Ram Stadium.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
We are back at Ram Stadium where we have the Shepherd Rams right now at the Lock Haven 12-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12. We have Bajent in the shotgun. We're actually a jet sweep. And it'll be
touchdown,
Shepherd Rams.
I think we talked about it a little bit in pregame, Keem, but I think this is going to be a high-scoring game for the Shepherd offense. It kind of seems like they're just doing as they want against this defense. But games like today are good for your younger kids.
Yes.
You're going to get them experience in the game. I think we'll see a little bit more of Mr. Blake Hartman today,
Yes.
The Musselman product, and I think he's going to show the Shepherd fans, what they're going to be excited about for next year and the years to come as well, because he's a very hard-nosed kid as well.
Yeah, very, very strong runner. We got to see him single-handedly carry Musselman to a highly ranked team in the state. But right there, I want to talk about that last play. You got to see twins to the left-hand side.
Yeah.
They sent number 0, Alfonso Ferre, in motion on the jet sweep, and that's the second time the Shepherd has scored running the ball with their wide receivers on the jet sweep.
Yeah.
The first time it was Ryan Beach. This time it was Alfonso Ferre. They have wide receivers that are built in that Deebo Samuel type mode. Not overly tall, but solid, very, very solid and thickly built. So they're like running backs.
Yeah.
Running that can run routes. And you see that once he got there, he had a nose for the ball. And it was a touchdown to whole herd of Rams.
Well, and I think in those situations, you just have to get your athletes the ball the quickest way possible, whether it be a little pop pass like we just saw, little hitches here and there, out routes, stuff like that. Get them the ball, and they're going to make the most of it.
And a kickoff.
Looks like he's going to fair catch it again. If he catches it,
he dropped the ball.
And there it is, down at the Shepherd's got it at the 2-yard line.
And recovered by the Shepherd Rams at the 2-yard line.
I mean, Keem, that's the third turnover of the game. You can't expect to win football games doing that.
And unfortunately, this is why Lock Haven is 1-4 right
Yes. Yeah, it seems like they're struggling in some aspects. You do see good parts from their football team. They've got a bunch of athletes. Their quarterback, he throws the ball really well. But if you can't put it all together, then this is kind of what happens to you whenever you're turning the ball over, especially against somebody of the caliber of the Shepherd Rams.
Yes. So Shepherd will take over at the 3-yard line, leading 27-0 with 14 minutes and 54 seconds left in the second quarter. So Shepherd could essentially score 2 touchdowns within the first 15 seconds of the
Well, and I
quarter.
think right now you put the ball in Ronnie Brown's hand and see if he can get in. If not, you come back, and I'd probably do something of the same caliber of what we did the last possession, little pop pass, something quick, get it out of Tyson's hands fast. I know they want to get Ronnie Brown in the end zone, though. Why not? I mean,
so let me ask you a question, Brandon.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that Shepherd's success, especially passing the ball, obviously we know they have a great passing game, but you think it also could be predicated on Lock Haven focusing so much on stopping Ronnie Brown that they may have left holes open in their defense? For the
I do believe so. I mean, you have a type of player like Ronnie Brown, and look at Tyson. He gonna call his own number here. Yeah,
was a RPO.
Yeah,
and touchdown Tyson Bagent running the ball. So Tyson actually gets on the board running the ball. So it'd be a touchdown Rams.
You don't see that?
33-0 with 14 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter.
You don't see the running aspect from Tyson too often, but it's not something that he can't do. He can run it.
Yeah.
He's not your blazing quarterback. He's going to just outrun you like Lamar Jackson, but he's the type of quarterback that's going to make the smart play. If he needs to run, he can, and he's going to get down and slide before he takes any unnecessary hits to the body. It looks like that was a bad hold, and he kicked it off the ground still.
And the kick is up and good. So after the first missed extra point, he has been perfect. And the score is 34 Shepherd, 0 Lock Haven Bald Eagles. And this game has gone the way we envisioned it to go. And I think what Lock Haven needs to do right now is they need to compete to be the best Lock Haven they can be.
Yes.
Don't worry, not so much competing with the Shepherd University Rams and that juggernaut that they are at this time. They need to worry about making great plays, executing their offense to the level that they can execute it, and see how they can grow going forward to have a more productive season going forward.
Yes.
Because obviously this was a mismatch game, coming into the game. I looked at some of their scores from previously, and those games have all gotten out of hand a little bit.
Well, and, Keem, up at Fairmont, I played on some losing teams. I mean, there was a couple times where we came in here to Shepherdstown, and I don't even think we scored a point. So Shepherd's just – oh, wow. Looks like I don't know if everybody thought he fair caught it or what happened, but I thought he fair caught it. But, going back to that, Keem, is the coaching staff of Lock Haven after this game just has to make sure that they build their kids back up. They build that morale and just let them know that, hey, we did get beat by a great football team, but that's not saying that we're still not a great football team as well.
Exactly.
There's just obviously things that they need to fix. Hopefully they go into practice, they watch a lot of film, and they take away everything they need to from this game to complete their season, and hopefully get a couple wins in there as well.
Yeah, so they got a win versus Post.
Post, that's
35
the one,
to 34.
Yeah.
They had a loss to Mercyhurst, 49-7, 48-7 loss to East Stroudsburg, and this last week they lost to Millersville, 42-12. They averaged 13.6 points per game, and they give up 43 points a game. So we knew coming into this game that it was going to be a Herculean task.
Yes.
For Lock Haven to compete with this Shepherd University team, and as we've seen right now, being down 34-0 at the beginning of the second quarter, history kind of spoke to the truth.
Yeah, well, and if you're giving up that type of offense to other teams, and then you come in here to an offense that's nationally ranked, numbers are ridiculously crazy. It doesn't sit well whenever you're turning the ball over, you're allowing Tyson to have all day to throw the ball, and we still haven't even seen that running aspect of Ronnie Brown yet, which I think we will obviously throughout the game, because they're going to probably put the ball on the ground a little more, get that clock rolling, and get everybody out of here to celebrate the Hall of Fame weekend.
It looks like it was a false start.
I thought it was, but there's no call, so.
And honestly, Brandon, even speaking and attesting to that fact, if the game continues to trend the way that it is, maybe the starters may be out by the end of the first half, and you'll see some of the second string and third string play for the third and fourth quarters.
Yeah, I think with a game like this being 34-0, and I don't think Shepherd's done obviously yet, but I think for both teams at this point, it's just trying to get everybody out of here healthy. Especially, not saying, Lock Haven doesn't need to have everybody healthy, but someone like Shepherd who can play down the road, playoffs, everything of that nature, they want to make sure that they're going into those games healthy. So I definitely think we're going to see a little more workload from the second and third teams in the second half.
And a great tackle by Dwayne Grantham, a little bit of extra at the end. And the referee is kind of being able to reel the game back in, because these games can start to get a little bit out of hand.
No doubt about
emotions
it.
get involved. Obviously we're men. Men have pride.
Yeah.
You just want to make sure the game stays clean. So you have twins to both sides. You see that third down bell, Brandon, that us Shepherd fans love to hear.
Yeah.
And it is 3rd and 11 for Lock Haven. Easton Turner takes the snap. He scans the field, and he is sacked.
Is that Mr. Kyle Smith, huh?
By number 11, Kyle Smith, the 6'3", 210-pound senior. And Easton, this has just been a real physical game for him.
Yes, it has. And, we talked about Kyle Smith as well. Him and Malik Holloway give you a different look at defensive tackle, defensive end. Something that a lot of teams don't get. Somebody that fast, just motor that doesn't stop. And I think they complement each other very well.
Yeah, Kyle, that was a dominant possession right there by the Shepherd defense. Mr. Dorsey takes the punt, and I love it. Straight ahead, get what you can get.
Oh, a little extracurricular, and that's where the refs need to make sure that this game doesn't get out of hand.
And that's what, I was speaking about just a few seconds ago, and me and you have just had that conversation. When games get a little bit out of hand, and those emotions and that pride kicks in a little bit, you start to do things a little bit outside.
You never want to lose
of the game. Yeah, you don't want to lose, but you also got to make sure that you maintain integrity.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned from my father. Like if you really want to change it, instead of getting mad, work on your game to be able to make the adjustments to be better.
Yeah.
And then the game wouldn't get out of hand like that. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 36-yard line. Bajan hands the ball to Ronnie Brown. Quick shift. and he would gain 3 or 4 yards. Look like there's a penalty to play. So I don't know if it's going to be a face mask or a holding, but it's typically holding. So it'll be a holding on the Shepherd Rams. It'll be a loss of 10 yards.
And you know something, Keem, and I don't even know if Shepherd fans know this, but number 72, Adam Steele, him and Tyson have been playing with each other since Midget League, the Razorbacks. So that's an interesting fact, just to know how far back their relationship goes and that quarterback-center relationship. I mean, that's one of the most important relationships on the field. I think Tyson trusts him so much, and Adam trusts Tyson so much that just helps the whole Shepherd program, just being that those two know each other in and out.
And the center is like the quarterback of the line.
Yes, and Adam is so smart as well. And look at the one-hand catch by Ronnie.
That was a great catch, but that was also an amazing tackle.
Yes.
By Lockhaven. And
number 2.
See, Lockhaven, they have some really good ball players on their team. You know, this some mistakes, a couple mistakes. I don't know if they have the depth. And that's essentially why they may struggle a little bit, but they have some great players.
They do, and I think number 2 is a guy that I actually talked with Tyson about a little bit this week, and he said that he's their most experienced guy out of that linebacking
Austin
group.
Barber.
Yeah. But the D-line's not helping anybody out by not getting any pressure. It looks like number 83.
That's a great hit.
Daryl Harper. Looks like he's a freshman as well. Yeah, freshman from Northwest.
You can tell he's young.
Yeah.
And Ernie McCook is getting younger wide receivers in the game, getting them experience. And you can see that Lockhaven is also keen on stopping the deep ball for Shepherd. They're keeping everything in front of them. You have the 2 deep safeties. They're making sure that Shepherd's not getting any chunk yards down the field.
And it looks like Mr. Bajan has already thrown for 196 yards as well. So I don't think he's done. I think he's going to go for well over 300. And it looks like we got another.
And right there, you cannot do that.
No.
You had first down yardage. You cut it back to gain yards, and you lose the first down, and now you have to punt.
He's just going to go ahead and punt it.
And that is a pet peeve. That is Keem Holmes from Home Team Sports pet peeve.
Listen, they want to try to get those extra yards.
Man. Get the first down.
Listen, so that's a pet peeve of yours, but whenever he takes that and makes that one little cut and goes back 3 yards and then takes it for a 70-yard touchdown, that's one of those, oh, no, okay, yes. I think all coaches have those type of moments. One moment I'll never forget in high school, I don't know if people are familiar with the guy. His name was Cookie Clinton, heck of an athlete out of Martinsburg. But we're playing up at Hanley. We're doing a 2-minute drill. And I tell Justin right before the snap, I said, catch the ball and get out of bounds. I threw him a 3-yard out route. He was supposed to get out of bounds. He takes it 90 yards to the house. And with athletes like that, I mean, it's like, okay, can you be mad at it? You want them to make the smart football play, but it's just them being athletes and just making a play.
Well, it made your stats look good.
Yeah, and the thing about it is, for the quarterback, it goes in the book the same way. So I might as well get it in their hands and them just make me look good, And I think that's what Tyson does a good job of.
So right now, we'd like to thank our sponsors. Our title sponsor today, Shelton Tree Services, Neil Powell at Down Home Insurance, VFW Purse 3522. We have K-Tro Law, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, and Money Mart Training, Marcus Roper. Marcus has been amazing for the community and increasing the talent level of basketball around the Eastern Panhandle. So if you guys have any young children that would love to become a better basketball player, please send them to Money Mart Training.
I also just saw where he's going to become the director of operations for 304 Elite, which is huge for the state of West Virginia. Because Marcus, being around him, I've played pickup with him countless of times, him and his brother Miles. Both of them know the game of basketball in depth. It's not just how to shoot, how to do this. It's the little things that they break down. And just, I honestly think that they are one of the best things to happen for basketball in this area. Only because they're taking these young kids and not only teaching them the game of basketball, but just giving them that energy, that positive influence that they need to succeed. And I love it. I honestly love it. Everything that they're doing. I mean, you see Tyson all the time. He goes over there and he works out with them. Sometimes that's how he gets his workouts in. So
it'll be 3rd and 3 for Lock Haven. Trips to the right. Mr. Turner takes a snap. Easton Turner goes the out route, and play was off. But honestly, to me, that's not on the quarterback. I feel like the wide receiver didn't finish his route right there.
So, and I believe that, that's their tight end, number 82, Kenneth Pettiford. And I think he just needs to go ahead and work out. You have that defender on your hip. You need to feel that and then know that quarterback's going to throw you open.
Yes.
He's not going to throw it right where you turn. You just need to go ahead and maybe he was just supposed to run what they call a little shark route. Maybe he wasn't supposed to completely go out, but you need to be on the same page with your quarterback and know that he's just throwing you open at that point.
Well, it's just like, when you go into a play, and a play is called a certain way, but if the defense takes that away, if you and the quarterback have a relationship, you could be able to ad-lib a little bit, and it's like you said,
yes.
Allow him to throw you open, cut the route off a little bit shorter to be able to define that gap in the defense. You don't have to say, hey, coach called a post, I have to run it 15 yards and cut it across the field. Essentially you make the adjustment based off of what the defense is giving you.
Well, and that's the thing. You might be told to run a 15-yard post, and it's easy in pregame or on air. But then whenever you put that defender in front of you, what if he's sitting at the 15 yards and you need to put a move on him? Maybe that turns into a 13, 14-yard route. But it's really where you're going to end up is your aiming point. It looks like we're going to see a little bit of Blake Hartman here, in the second quarter.
The Musselman product. And to be able to see Bajan and Blake Hartman on the same team, on the same field, it feels good for the EPAC.
And they're going to go ahead and probably just, grind it. Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is he's a physical runner, but he's fast too.
He is.
He's fast.
He's very physical. I love that he's downhill
all the time.
I love that he's downhill. Yeah. Blake's he's gonna have a great career at Shepherd University.
Oh, I honestly think that this is a great place for him. I know that he went to Lehigh out of high school. Obviously, it didn't work out, but there's nothing bad about transferring down to a powerhouse program like Shepherd.
No. And a great pass by Bajan. And he leads Marquand up, and Marquand is down at the 42-yard line, but right there is what we just talked about.
Yeah.
He threw him, and he has momentum going forward and allowed Mr. Cook.
Yeah.
Marlon Cook. I'm sorry I called you Marquand. Marlon, my apologies.
Just put both of them together, that's all.
My apologies. Mitch, you and the great wide receiver Lock came together, but Tyson threw Marlon forward, allowed him to have his momentum going, and he picked up 15 yards, 1st and 10 Rams.
Well, and I think Tyson does a good job probably in the off season of just making sure his guys are putting in the work. When you have a leader like Tyson that's doing what he does, it just trickles down to the rest of the team. So I'm sure he probably had Marlon Cook every day in the summer throwing, which goes to show on the field on Saturdays, obviously.
Well, also, it goes to show how much Marlon wanted as well.
Yes.
Not many people want to get up in the offseason and put the work in, but they want the stats and they want the accolades during the season.
And it looks like he's a junior, so if I'm not mistaken, he didn't really play a lot last year. So that just goes to how hard he's working to really implement himself into this offense.
And it'll be 1st and 10 Shepherd from the Lock Haven 25-yard line. Yeah. Single receivers to both sides.
Ooh, overthrew him.
The ball is high, and right there is one of those plays where
he wants it back.
He wants that play back.
Yeah.
But we also got lucky that wasn't an interception.
Oh yeah.
So the attempt by Mr. Morgan actually saved an interception for Tyson. So we have a 2nd and 10. We will have 2 wide receivers to the left side. We'll have a single wide receiver to the right with Hartman to his left. 2nd and 10 with 5 minutes and 33 seconds left in the second quarter. The inside handoff to Hartman. Hartman busts up the middle. And it'll be a gain of 8. So it will be a 3rd and 2 Shepherd. And I would just love to see more and more Hartman.
Man, and him and Ronnie Brown are 2 different style backs, but they're 2 different style backs that you love to have. They complement each other so well.
So actually that would be a 1st down, so it would be a gain of 10. So it would be a 1st and 10 from the Shepherd from the Lock Haven 15-yard line.
I think you go ahead and hand it back off to Hartman and
see
what he can do.
Off tackle, and he is down at the 8-yard line, but he's always gaining 5 yards, 6 yards, 7 yards.
Hey, you gain that in 3 plays. What do you have? First down. That's all you need in football. So, I think right here, Coach McCook goes ahead and trusts his, reigning Harlan Hill Trophy winner. We go ahead and put it in his hands, and we toss it around a little bit. Maybe look for Coach McCook's son there out into the flats or something. Sneak him out maybe. But I definitely think we're going to go ahead and try to throw it around here on this possession.
So we have a 2nd and 5 from the 9-yard line. The fake handoff.
Marlon Cook.
Fade to Marlon Cook out of bounds. So we will have a 3rd and 5 from the 9-yard line of Lock Haven.
And those are types of plays where when you have a guy like Marlon Cook, that big body receiver, you just need to go ahead and take those shots maybe once or even twice, maybe 3 times a game, just to see how well he matches up against his DB, but to give him that confidence as well, like, hey, we're going to come to you, just throw you a jump ball and let's see what you can do. So,
and like you said, a lot of this is for later on in the season
yes.
as well, to see how teams are going to defend your wide receivers, how your individual wide receiver could beat a defensive back by himself. You just want to see the little things, because you never know later on in the season if there becomes a time where you're like, okay, you know what, Marlon can beat his defender off the line, or Marlon can outjump his defender, or Marlon runs this route, he seems to create more separation, and that's for any receiver for Shepherd University. But you just want to see what they feel the most comfortable with, what they have the most success doing, because when you break down that film for later on in the season, when you play against more talented teams that might be able to take away your 1 or 2 wide receiver, you have something else to go in the fall on. It's just like Hartman, if Ronnie Brown is having a difficult game, or Lord forbid that something happens, you want to be able to see that your backup can come in and you don't lose it, you don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
So we have a 3rd and 5.
Right there he is.
Right to
Mr.
the big
Walker.
tight end.
Down at the 1, it looks like.
And he's had such an amazing game.
Yes.
And if you've listened to Home Team Sports broadcast, I know I've made this comment so many times, Brandon, but it's going to make you smile as well. My father loves tight ends.
Hey, me too, man. Honestly, in college, I used to say I'm just a glorified tackle. I might be able to touch the ball a couple times a game. It was definitely an adjustment to go from quarterback touching the ball every play to the tight end. But when I switched positions, it made me appreciate the offensive line that much more.
At first, is his first touchdown or second touchdown or third touchdown? I don't even know. But touchdown, Blake Hartman, the former Musselman Appleman, a whole herd of Rams.
And that's huge for Blake to get into the end zone. Not only huge for him, but I know that there's a lot of Shepherd fans here that are fans of Blake Hartman as well, just because of the things he did in high school. So I know that there's a lot of Ram faithfuls out there that just love to see that hometown kid from Inwood, West Virginia, that's doing great things at the collegiate level.
Yeah, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see Blake get that touchdown right there. And the extra point is up and good. And the score is 41 Shepherd Rams, 0 Lock Haven. And we've gotten – I asked our IT guy before the game started. I said, have we seen a lot of our reserves? And Shepherd's games have been close.
Yeah,
they've had some the PSAC is one of the best conferences
no doubt
in America.
That. Yeah.
So for the community and for the fans and the parents, that have children that they might be freshmen or sophomores that are waiting their turn, to be able to see their kids get in today,
it's huge.
To be productive. And yes, it is huge, because when you get to college, most of these kids were the man at their school. So to come and have to wait their turn is an adjustment. But these kids adjust, they buy into the program, and as we said in our pregame, the juggernaut just continues.
Yeah. Well, and back to what you said, how the PSAC is one of the best in the country. That just goes to show you how good Shepherd is, because they've dominated 3 different conferences. First, you had the WEVIAC, then you had the MEC. Now they make the jump to the PSAC, and they're still the Shepherd football team that everybody knows. Yes. That Shepherd football team that down the road is competing for national championships. So that just goes to show really how good this football program really is, because a lot of people won't be able to make that jump. I don't see the Fairmonts and your Notre Dames and your Concords being able to make that jump to the PSAC and being able to compete the way Shepherd does.
Yeah.
Not only on the field, but in recruiting as well, because recruiting to West Virginia is a little more difficult than it might be to Pennsylvania, Maryland, something of that nature. So,
and that's essentially that's the essential part of what makes Shepherd great. Is when people do come to Shepherdstown, West Virginia, they fall in love with it.
You do, yeah.
You know, like I have some of my friends that grew up in Maryland, the D.C. area, that played when I was in school, and they live in my neighborhood now.
Yeah.
And they said, I just love it here.
Well, I think where we're located in West Virginia makes everything a lot easier for people that come from out of town. Like you said, your boys from D.C. or Maryland, they come here, it's slower pace. But if they want that fast-paced lifestyle, that city life,
it's 35, 40
they can go right
down
down the road. And I think that's the big thing about Shepherd, too, is that's a recruiting hotspot, the simple fact that, 15 minutes one way down 81, you're going into Virginia. 15 minutes down the other way, you're going to Maryland. So, and then you take a couple back roads and you're in D.C. So,
yeah, exactly.
I think that's a good thing about where Shepherd is located. It helps them with the recruiting aspect because, you bring a kid to somewhere, Glenville State or something of that nature, it's harder to recruit a kid somewhere in the middle of nowhere.
Yes.
Where Shepherd has all these surrounding things, and then you come to, I see that they have recruits over there on the sideline today. You come to an atmosphere like this, Shepherd, you smell the jerk chicken, you see the Chick-fil-A sandwiches, you're like, okay, this is a great atmosphere for where I want to play football. So I think that just that's the Shepherd way that Coach McCook had talked about in his chalk.
C&G jerk chicken,
man,
it's real.
Is it, Keem? I love it. I love it. Honestly, I was gonna see if we could go get some at halftime.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a staple of Shepherd University football. Chris Grant, he comes from Jamaica. Comes just for football season because he had C&G, in the middle in Kernersville by Lost Dog.
Mm-hmm.
But now he's back home, but he comes during football season to bless us with that amazing food. And I 100% are going to get me and my son a plate.
Hey, I know I want some. Hopefully it's not sold out by the time we're done, but I definitely want some myself.
We can send my baby boy on the run.
We might have to, huh? Make a call.
And great defense by Shepherd stuffs it, and it'll be a 4th down for Lock Haven. And this Shepherd's defense has come to play today.
I mean, they've got
Dwayne
2 turnovers.
Has been amazing today.
If you get a two turnovers and a big stop like that on defense, that's all you can ask for in a whole game. They've done that in a half. I mean, this Shepherd defense is just playing lights out.
Shepherd, man, I tell you, and I'm sorry for anybody that may be offended, but I'm a Commanders fan.
Oh, man. Me too, King.
I'm a Commanders fan.
Me too.
And
it's rough.
It's very rough. So to be able to have at least one team that I could just watch and know that I may get a win today, it helps my soul.
Yeah.
It helps my soul to be able to watch these Shepherd games because I know tomorrow I'm going to be mad.
I'm usually mad on Sundays, too. I turn the game off most of the time. I just get fed up with even watching it. But hopefully we can turn it around, but who knows? I mean, but I'm with you. That's why on Saturdays I love watching me some college football. I'm a WVU fan, too, so I get disappointed 2 days in a row.
Very similar to Commanders. And, last week my son came up to me. He was just like, Dad, man, why are we always so bad?
Man.
And I just had to tell him, like, hey, man, my bad. I indoctrinated you into the life of a Washington Commanders fan. I don't even know if I could do it to my newborn. I might have to let him pick.
I used to let
him pick who he want to pick. Man.
I used to ask my grandmother all the time, rest in peace. But I used to be like, why did you make me a Washington fan? Out of all people, you have me liking Washington at a young age, and now look at me disappointed every Sunday.
Oh, great run by Ronnie Brown.
Just so explosive.
And if he's leaving.
Yeah, that's a touchdown.
The 40, the 30, the 20, the 10,
man go.
Touchdown, young man rumble. Ronnie Brown, 80-yard touchdown. A whole herd of Rams.
And I think that's exactly what Shepherd's just been waiting for. This community loves Ronnie Brown. I don't know as much as Tyson Bagent, but he's made a name for himself in this community as well. So,
and it would be 53-0 Shepherd. Around 47-0.
Yeah, 40.
It's gonna be 47-0.
Make this, and it'll be.
The extra point.
Just the way Ronnie Brown just hit that hole. Yeah. I mean, he's so explosive. I think I was talking with Bagent, and Bagent might have said that he ran like a laser.
And it is good, and it's 48 Shepherd with 1:48 left in the second quarter. We're going to take a quick commercial break. This is Keem Holmes and Brandon Ashenfelter from Home Team Sports TV. Shepherd University, where we have our Shepherd Rams 48-0 over Lock Haven. We're about to have the kickoff. With 1:48 left, if you're Lock Haven, Brandon, what are you trying to accomplish in this next 1:48 to be able to go into the half feeling good about yourself?
Well, honestly, I think at this point, I just want to get into halftime, try to go in, figure out where we're going wrong, make the adjustments that we need to make, just to even come out and maybe I think this game might be a little out of hand at this point, but just go in, collect your team, let them know, hey, we are getting beat, but we need to go out here and show that we're not going to quit. Right now I think we go ahead and I'd run the ball probably 3 straight plays and probably try to get us out of here into halftime.
And that's what I would do. Right now, make some adjustments, at the half. See how we can come out, and we try to win each quarter. It's going to be hard to come back and win this game, but what we can do going forward is we can try to win each quarter. And if I could say, hey, I might have lost the first 2 quarters, but I won the third and the fourth quarter, I think I could sell something to my team that can build us up going forward.
Yeah. And that's a great tackle by number 36, Mr. Mike Forbes for Shepherd. Looks like he's a redshirt freshman. So, like we talked about, your younger kids are getting in the game now. They're getting to showcase their talent a little bit. And that just helps the Shepherd coaches. It gives them film to be able to evaluate these players down the road.
And the thing about it is, as well, is they're getting valuable reps versus starters.
Oh, wow.
And they try to take that shot, and the ball is intercepted.
3 turnovers in one half. You can't ask for much more from a defense, King.
And especially when that's your younger players in there.
That's
right there.
Number 5.
Clayton Baton.
Yep. He's redshirt sophomore.
Shepherd, man, they just reload.
They do. And the thing about it is these kids are freshmen and sophomore, but they're going to bring in some transfers as well to help them, give them that seniority, that competitive edge. You got kids that have been there before, and then you have these young athletes that they can kind of help groom. Yes. It makes Shepherd what they are.
And, one of my favorite players that I've gotten to watch over the last few years is Sammy Roberts.
Yes.
Quarterback at Jefferson. And I asked Sammy, Sammy, the greatest thing that's happened to you is that you get to spend your freshman year behind Tyson Bagent. And you get to learn from probably the greatest quarterback that the state of West Virginia may have ever had. Him and J.R. House are probably the top two.
I had this debate. It really wasn't in the state of West Virginia, but we were having a debate on Facebook about the top 5 Eastern Panhandle football players, and athletically.
And this is why I love Ernie.
Yeah.
Right? Ernie could have easily went down there and tried to punch it in and score more points. But he knows what it is.
Yeah.
He knows that sometimes what goes around comes around.
He's not the type that's going to rub it in your face.
Yeah, he's not trying to run the
great
score
guy.
up.
Yeah. Good character guy.
As we seen yesterday, Freedom.
Yeah.
High school,
my God. 112 to 8.
112 to 8.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And that was amazing.
But
we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll come back with the halftime show. Keem Holmes and Brandon Ashenfelter from Home Team Sports TV.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
Juwan is the ultimate hype guy. I love him. He's always positive. He's always pepping them up and firing them up.
Come on, Parker, work, Parker, work, Parker, work, 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 work.
Michael Jackson became an international sensation with his simplified group choreography, unique singing voice, and signature dance moves. Groove along with the Ram Band as we perform a medley of 2 songs released on Thriller and Bad albums, Beat It and Smooth Criminal. Hails from the romantic 80s movie Dirty Dancing, where a baby falls in love with her dance instructor Johnny and Sebastian. Originally sung by Denver Wonderful Bentley, dancers Anna Lynch and Corey Disney in I've Had the Time of My Life. Mercury and the British band Queen transformed the music industry with their legendary rock tunes. According to a 2019 scientific study, today's selection is the world's most uplifting song, Don't Stop Me Now. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shepherd University Ram Band. You can catch the Ram Band in performance this week, Monday night at Brunswick High School for the Frederick County High School Band Showcase. On Friday for the Founders Day.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying.
From the class of 1965, Rick Hutterly. Rick Hutterly, a standout on Shepherd's men's swimming team from 60 to 62 and 63 to 65. He won 8 individual conference titles, part of 3 relay crowns over his career, a member of 3 WVIAC championship teams for the Rams. Later had a success as a swimming coach at Western Colorado and Eastern Washington. He mentored 7 All-Americans. His 67-68 team ranked 9th nationally at Western Colorado. He also had 4 All-Americans at Eastern Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, Rick Hutterly. From the class of 1974, Glenn Edwards. Glenn Edwards, a 4-year standout on the men's tennis team from 70 to 74. He posted a 35-13 singles record. He played 3 years as number 1, 1 year at number 2, a three-time team captain. Edwards is a member of the undefeated 8-0 team of 71. He has led the Jefferson High School boys tennis team as a coach to more than 700 wins since he became head coach in 1980. He served as golf coach from 87 to 93, and he's guided the boys and girls swimming team since 1997, and he's built those teams into regional powers. Ladies and gentlemen, Glenn Edwards. And from the class in 1998, Chad Broadwater. Chad was a member of the football team right here from 94 to 97. He completed 455 out of 897 passes for 6,583 yards and 60 touchdowns. He finished his career as the program's all-time leader in pass completions, pass attempts, passing yards, passing touchdowns, and total offense. And he was a member of the WBIAC championship teams in 94 and 97, a three-time all-WBIAC selection. He served as the team captain in 1997. Ladies and gentlemen, Chad Broadwater. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, that's the Shepherd University Athletic Hall of Fame class of 2022.
This is contestant.
And we are back at Shepherd Rams Stadium, where we have the fourth-ranked Shepherd Rams leading Lock Haven 48-0. We're about to start the second half.
Yes, sir.
I don't know if we're going to see the starters in the second half, but I think for the fans and for those parents of kids that may be
like an
second
onside
or
kick
third
here,
string,
too,
no, I doubt it. He calls for a fair catch. So right now at the half, we have a score: Shepherd 48, Lock Haven 0. Shepherd has 13 first downs. Lock Haven has 6. Lock Haven has 16 rushes for 3 yards. Shepherd has 9 rushes for 119 yards. Lock Haven has 97 yards passing. Shepherd has 211 yards passing. Total offensive plays: 40 plays for Lock Haven for 100 yards, 30 plays for Shepherd for 330.
And Brandon Ashenfelter here. I'm going to give you a little individual stats. For Shepherd, it looks like Mr. Bajan's probably going to be done for today, but he finished 16 of 21, 211 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
And Blake Hartman breaks the first run.
Look at him go.
Rumble, young man, rumble.
Keep going, keep going. Look at him. He stepped out of bounds. It's okay. Hey, great run, though. Great run.
But I tell you what, Blake Hartman is going to be special at Shepherd University.
Yes, he is.
He stepped out of bounds at the 19-yard line, but that's his 5th carry, I want to say, for at least 70 yards. But look at the starting linemen for Shepherd. They're out there.
Yep.
They're celebrating. And this is leadership, but this is what happens when you have a good program.
Yes. Well, and that just goes back to what we talked about, what Coach McCook talked about, that Shepherd way. You see these first-team guys cheering for these younger guys just as much as they were the first-team guys. But back to individual stats, we do have Ronnie Brown. He probably is going to be done for the day. We'll probably see a good bit of Blake Hartman. But he was four carries, 95 yards, 1 touchdown, long of 85. He was averaging 23 yards per carry.
Oh, that's going to be a penalty.
No, I think.
Actually, it was definitely he got inside of his helmet.
I thought it was going to be a horse collar. Brian Walker receiving 3 catches, 41 yards. Alfonso Forway, he's got 3 catches for 26 yards with 2 touchdowns. Great day for the Shepherd offense, obviously. And I think we're going to see, an array of athletes, young athletes here in the second half that Shepherd fans need to be excited about in the future.
Right, and one right here is a quarterback.
Yes, yeah, he I think he did get some playing time, maybe not last year, but the year before. Tyson might have been banged up a little bit. He got to play a little bit, and he is maybe not to the same caliber as Tyson, but the fact that he gets to learn under him and just try to become the best version of himself, I think that Shepherd is a great place for a quarterback like
Christian Ettinson.
Yeah,
sophomore, 6'4", 210.
And he's actually from Westminster, which Martinsburg played Westminster, I believe, a couple times after I graduated.
Those
great games.
There were some great games.
Yeah, they were.
Get outside the pocket.
Tall guy, looks like he can run a little bit as well.
He gets out the side of the pocket, and he is that's a physical run.
Physical run.
And he actually runs for the first down, and that's what you like to see, because I'm going to tell you, Brandon, it really wasn't even that he finished physical. It was that he knew where he needed to get.
Yes.
He had the awareness of where he needed to get, where he needed to go. He didn't try to force the ball. Specifically, when you first get into the game, you haven't been hit yet. We all know as athletes, your physicality amps up as the game goes on.
For sure.
But he wasn't afraid to put his body in there, but he knew where he needed to go, and it was that quarterback awareness that I love to see from the sophomore.
And, you never want your quarterback to go out there and just get banged up, but you also want a quarterback that's not afraid to go ahead and put his head down and get that extra 1 or 2 yards if needed.
Yeah. And Lock Haven seems to be bringing a little bit of more run blitz. The last couple of times, number 6, Avon Holly, the sophomore, 6'1", 212, has found it a little bit more tougher sledding than the first few runs of the half. So we will have a 2nd and 4, actually 2nd and goal from the 4 for the Shepherd Rams, leading 48-0 with 11 minutes and 58 seconds left in the third quarter. Mr. Etchinson takes the snap. 2 wide receivers to the right. Inside handoff to Mr. Holly.
Great run.
And great strong run by Mr. Holly in the leg drop. Touchdown, a whole herd of Rams.
And for a kid like that to be your 3rd string running back, that goes to show you that there's athletes everywhere on that roster.
Avon Holly with a strong run right there.
That was super strong. I mean, he was stopped at maybe the 2.5-yard line. He kept his feet moving. And that's exactly what you need to see out of a running back.
As the Ram cheerleaders run with the Ram signs, Shepherd will lead 54-0 with 11 minutes and 45 seconds left in the third quarter, and they start off how they finished.
Yes. And I think they just need to keep going. Obviously, you don't want to, rub it in the opposing team's face and just keep running the score. But you also don't want your younger guys to say, hey, don't go as hard. Don't score when you can. Little things of that nature. And, Keem, we've got I don't know what's going on here. Refs talking.
Well, and I think this is what we spoke about, prior to the half. When games get a little bit out of hand, you just want to make sure that it doesn't get ugly. Like, you don't want it to see there's a penalty on Lock Haven, the frustration. You have to make sure that you maintain your team integrity.
Yes, for sure.
To allow yourself to grow and learn from the game. because essentially every single game, whether you win or you lose, there's something in it that you should be taught. There's something in it that you should grow from and you should learn from. And if you're playing angry, you're playing upset, woe is me, whatever it may be, you're not getting the message.
Yeah. And a little bit of update on the Martinsburg-Riverside game. We've got score right now looks to be 27-10. Martinsburg's kicking an extra point, and it looks like they made it, making it 28-10. So,
and that Martinsburg team facing another test.
Yes.
That they had versus Highland Springs. This time they seem to be passing that test, and essentially they're going to be there, in the end.
Yeah.
They're going to be one of the best teams in West Virginia. Don't let that Highland Springs game fool you. That team is probably I think they're actually ranked like 70th in the nation.
Yeah.
Out of every single team in high school, including private schools. So
and deserving of that rank too. I mean, you see that team, that it's the type of team that they get off the bus and you're like, wow, this is a team that you can tell has some players, and then they went out on the field and executed, did what they were supposed to do.
So you have Martinsburg win today, and they're going to go to 6-1.
Yep.
You have Musselman at 5-1. You have Jefferson at 6-2. Hedgesville's at 4-3. Yeah, I think Spring Mills is 2-3, and Washington is 1-4, 1-5. But the health of the EPAC is at a high level.
Yes,
you have 3 teams. 5-2 or 6-1.
Yeah.
So I think that bodes well for the EPAC. We hope that those teams continue to build on strong seasons.
Well, and I know you and I touched on this a little bit before we did a broadcast together, Jefferson Sharando, but I'm Martinsburg through and through. But one thing about me is I want to see the Eastern Panhandle just dominate in every aspect of the state. And not only because I live here and I have love for the Eastern Panhandle, but because they don't respect us throughout the rest of the state. So definitely just goes to show where we're heading as a whole in the Eastern Panhandle when it comes to football and other sports and other things as well.
And I think this penalty is going to end up being a bad penalty because number 31, he actually jumped over the quarterback. He didn't even touch him. And I think when you have the referee call it from further back, it may have looked like it happened, but it didn't.
Yeah.
So that was actually not the best call. Obviously, I know that your eyes can be fooled when you're seeing it from a different angle, but we're right here. We have a good clean angle from what happened, and he actually jumped over the quarterback.
Well, and I know one thing, Keem. That referee's got a heck of an arm on him.
Yes,
he tossed that flag,
he
didn't
tossed
he?
At least 20 yards.
Yeah, he did. And here we go, Mr. Wakefield. Yeah, and I think they just need to go ahead. You don't want to get anybody hurt, but you definitely want to get the ball in Wakefield's hand and just make sure that he's still that confident player leaving this game as he was coming in.
And if you're Lock Haven, essentially, you're going against Shepherd's second and third string. I think you probably do steal a few possessions against them.
Yeah.
Try to get some points on the board, and then you get them out as well because you need to make sure that they're healthy for the rest of the season as well.
Well, you don't gain anything from keeping those players in there and giving them the bulk of the carries anymore. I mean, you want to see what your young guys can do against, these second and third string guys because you're going to see them in the future. So.
Yes. And so essentially, you don't want to see them come out and then dominate third and fourth stringers. You really want to see how they competed versus other starters. Well, we've seen what happened there. But you also want to make sure that, you work on some things on offense that you can use going forward. So you see that Lock Haven has their starters in the game versus Shepherd's Reserve. But Shepherd's Reserves, when you're deep, you want to see them compete as well.
Yeah.
And we still see Dwayne Grantham in the game.
And I think defense is a little different than offense when it comes to playing kids in these moments.
And once again, he actually loses control of the ball. And the ball
he wanted to pitch it back. I think Dwayne was telling him to pitch it back. Wanted to score a touchdown, but it looks like they're going to call that an incomplete pass, Keem. Shockingly, I mean, I know his arm was going forward, but it looked like the ball came out before, right?
He definitely lost control of that ball once again. very similar to what happened earlier when he ran the RPO and lost control of the ball.
Yeah.
So Lock Haven is given a gift.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the rule is arms going forward.
Tom Brady
I
rule,
don't
the tough rule?
So I guess, yeah.
You know, Tom Brady actually finally admitted that it was a fumble to Charles Woodson on Charles Woodson's 46th
10
birthday.
years later or something?
His 46th birthday, he finally admitted that it actually was a fumble. So it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 39-yard line of Shepherd. You have trips. You have
I
twins
think I'm
going to
try to. Yeah, I was
going
going to say.
over to the flats.
Look
And
at
a great tackle by Dwayne Grantham. And it'll be 4th down and 9 from the 38-yard line of Shepherd.
Yes, that was a great tackle. It looked like he got held a little bit on that tackle.
It definitely seemed like a little bit of holding. But one thing I haven't seen, Brandon, is Lock Haven has not taken one shot down the field.
I mean,
they have no vertical. They had no vertical offense.
At this point, being conservative goes out the window. I'm going to try to throw my whole playbook at you. I mean, I'm down 55-0. What more can I lose? I mean,
and essentially also when you don't expect your players really to play the whole all 4 quarters, knowing that the game is out of hand. You know, I want to see them take a shot down the seam, at least 15 to 20 yards down the field, and that bell is ringing again. 4th and 9. Let's see if our Rams can get him off the field.
I think I was going to say, wow.
And a sack by number 42. So he didn't get the fumble recovery.
He gets the sack,
but he
though.
gets
That's
the
awesome
sack.
right there.
The sophomore Isaiah Farmer, 6'2", 230 pounds. A great series, young man.
Out of South Carolina, too. He's a long way from home, isn't he, King?
Hey, but that's great recruiting.
Yeah.
So we will see Shepherd come out for their second offensive series. It looks like we are getting
Hartman. Looks like he'll start it out.
Yes, and this is fun, especially for the linemen, because we all know that your team is built through the trenches.
Yeah.
So seeing these linemen, we call them the baby Rams, the third and fourth string, second, third, and fourth, seeing them dominate. Man, I tell you, Shepherd's future, is bright.
Yeah, and I think they just do a great job of getting these kids this playing time, though. I mean, Shepherd, I know they've had a lot of close games this year, but normally they're taking care of teams within the first half, and then their kids get a lot of playing time. And that just helps them down the road because you have these redshirt freshmen, redshirt sophomores getting playing time now, and that just gets them that experience that they need when they do become juniors and seniors, and then they're dominating football games. So
and they're playing large roles.
Yes.
And the thing I like about watching games like this too is that you want to see teams handle their business. You rarely see teams do this. If they're the better team, they come out, they just prove it and then get off the field.
Yeah.
You even see this at the professional level where teams let lesser talented teams stick around, and then the next thing you know, you're in a dogfight in the third quarter. And in the game where you feel like maybe you could have gotten some players, some great reps, you've lost that opportunity.
Yeah.
So it's 3rd and 7 from the Shepherd 47-yard line with 7 minutes and 51 seconds left. You have twins to the left, a senior receiver to the right.
There it is.
He throws a short pass into the flat, and it will be a 4th down.
4th and 5 here.
And that's a stop by the Lock Haven defense.
Yeah. And I mean, Shepherd's going to go ahead and punt it away and give it back to Lock Haven's offense. Hopefully they can, put something together and get some points on the board. I mean, that's really what they need right now. I mean, this game's out of hand at this point, so you just want to see your team, offense and defense, doing great things.
Yes.
Regardless of the score, obviously.
And you're gonna have to take some chances.
Yeah. Well, that's what I don't.
One thing I don't understand, and I haven't, particularly been fond of is there haven't been many chances that Lock Haven has taken on the offensive side of the ball.
That is a great punt. Oh.
And it'll be a touchback, so obviously. It's a great punt, but you lose those net yards.
I thought it was coming down in between that 10-yard line. I didn't think it was going that far, but.
So I'd definitely like to thank our sponsors, our title sponsors, Shelton Tree Services, VFW Post 3522, HD's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, Cheryl Yates of ERA Realty, Quintez McDonald Gibson and Integrity, Home Mortgage, Catro Law, Money Mart Training, Marcus Roper, I mean, without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are today. So we thank you for everything you've done. And L&L Handyman Services, definitely appreciate L&L Handyman Services. I know that every Jefferson game we go and we broadcast, he makes sure, hey, King, look at him and, tell him, man, we really appreciate you, because he's another one who's been there for a long time. And he continues to have pride in Home Team Sports TV. So L&L Handyman Services, thank you so much for being a valued sponsor for Home Team Sports TV.
Yeah, and I think the community needs to take note of all those sponsors too, and just make sure you're supporting these small local businesses, because without them, stuff like this doesn't happen. So definitely go ahead and if any of those companies could be of service for you in any way possible, I mean, give them a call, because they're doing it for the community. So we need to go ahead and support them as well.
Yes, and the great thing about it, especially coming from a small community like we have. Yeah. We're only going to be our best if we all support each other and we all grow and learn from each other. So regardless of where you live at, what county, what city you live in those counties, let's make sure that we're supporting each other and we're growing and we're evolving and we're becoming a beautiful community for our kids. Yeah. Because essentially that's who it impacts the most.
About. Yeah, that is what it's about.
So 3rd and 6 from the 24-yard line. Lockhaven has trips to the left.
Oh.
And the catch. Actually, it'll be a little bit short by Chase Holmes, and a little bit of pressure by number 42, Isaiah Farmer.
He's having a great second half here, isn't he?
Yeah, and in the first half it was Malik Holloway, number 9, and in the second half it is Mr. Farmer that's kind of, putting himself on that radar. Getting pressure, being physical, and Lockhaven's going to punt. I wonder if it's going to be a fake here.
I mean, you don't have nothing to lose, but he might play conservative and just go ahead and. Oh, I'm shocked he's catching that.
He took a shot.
I'm
punt return 101. Don't watch that clip.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought he was fair catching that. Hey, but those guys, they're there because sometimes they might make a play where their coach, like we talked about, it's like no, but then it's like, okay, that's what you're back there for. You're back there to make those risky plays if we need them.
Yeah, but he's lucky. He's lucky that play. He's lucky that didn't turn into a turnover.
And that, I mean, I've tried to catch some punts in my day. I mean, I'm not bad at it, but that's one of the trajectory of the ball and just how it comes off the kicker's foot. I mean, it's a different aspect of the game of football. Looks like we're gonna get number 6 here. Holly again.
We have a condensed twins.
Uh-oh.
We're taking that shot down the field.
There it is.
We're going to take that shot down the field to the
Good
speedster.
Ball.
That's a great ball. Great ball by Kristen Etchinson.
Great
to
ball.
Number 83, the speedy number 83 for Shepherd University.
He's that freshman we talked about.
The freshman from Frederick, Maryland, and Northwest High School. A touchdown, a whole herd of Rams.
Hey, Keith, that right there, great route, great ball, great protection, touchdown.
And you can't ask for that. Look at the team. Guys, if you can see how excited the sideline is for these players, man, it makes you miss playing the game.
Man, that I got cold chills looking at that, Keem, because the fact that they are over there cheering for a kid who might have just scored his first collegiate touchdown like that, I mean, that just goes to show what type of family atmosphere Shepherd has within their football program.
And that was a dime.
Oh, my God, yeah. I knew as soon as it left his hands, I'm watching it in the air. It was a beautiful ball. I mean, that wasn't no duck. It wasn't shaky at all. I mean, that was a beautiful ball right there.
If you're the parents of Christian Etchinson, you can actually find this highlight on Home Team Sports TV on YouTube. Turn that in to ESPN Dilford Dimes.
That right there. He's learning from one of the best, which is obviously a positive impact on him. And one thing, I wasn't even watching the touchdown after he threw the ball. I was watching him. The first thing he did was looked over at Tyson, and they both started celebrating. Yeah. Tyson's over there dancing. He's down on one knee doing the bow. I mean, that right there just goes to show what type of relationship they have on and off the field as well.
And in a route like that, because that was a long developing route.
Yes, it was.
The offensive line, I cannot stress how amazing this second unit for the offensive line has been for Shepherd in the second half, because you cannot run that route if you don't block well up front.
Well, and like you just said, it was such a long developing play. Those crossing routes always are, because you really have to, most of the time the quarterback, and I think right there he was in the shotgun, he took a 3-step drop. Most of the time on those long crossing routes, you might even see a quarterback take a 5-step drop just so that timing times up a little better.
Hitch step?
Yeah. Well, see, and that's what he did. I want to say he took that 3-step in a hitch.
Yeah.
Whereas, you have somebody, a younger quarterback, like I know at Martinsburg, those longer crossing routes, you might make them take a 5-step. Okay. Because if you have somebody back there, a younger guy, somebody not the caliber of Etchison or even Bajent, but a younger guy that maybe his feet are a little too fast, they might take that 3-step drop too fast and be ready to throw too soon. So you make them take that extra 2-step drop, and then it just times up for that route so much better.
And Brandon, that's the reason why I love broadcasting with you as well. Getting that informative, education that people watching this broadcast, if you don't play the quarterback position, or if you have younger athletes that are playing football, and you might play the quarterback position, to be able to watch our broadcast and learn, from some of the better players that we've had in the Panhandle was definitely a blessing. And I just want to let you know I appreciate you. But I just hope the community realizes how great it is to have, these ex-athletes come back and broadcast with Home Team Sports TV.
Listen, it's an awesome opportunity, and I love doing it. Not only, just because I love the game of football, but because whenever you guys had told me you were doing it, the first thing that came to mind was, wow, this is another avenue to get our kids seen. And that's literally what this is all about. Home Team Sports, I mean, I know we're a couple good-looking guys, Keem. We're on the camera, but we're really here for the kids to make sure that they're seen. I know we get a little FaceTime as well, but the main thing is to really get these athletes seen, male and female, because we do soccer, volleyball. I'm sure baseball season we'll be doing it all as well.
And that's the chance down the field that we've been asking for the last 2.5 quarters. You have to give your athletes a chance to go vertical.
Yeah. Well, and I've been waiting for them to get number 10 and number 3 a little more
Chase
involved
Holmes
in the offense. Looks like there's a flag on the play. I don't know if he's picking it up or – yep. First down. But no, if I'm Lock Haven here, I think I'm definitely taking more shots with number 10, number 3, even maybe getting that tight end involved, number 82. Only because at this point, I mean, it's 62-0. We might as well see if we can just go ahead and put one in the end zone, bring that sideline morale up. And one thing I will say, I keep checking over here on Lock Haven's sideline, and their coaches still have their players very locked in. Yes. I mean, even on defense, it's third down. I see their coaches yelling out, "It's money down," and that's what you need out of your coaches.
And playing in the PSAC, you're going to play against top teams every single week. And Lock Haven right now, is having their period of time where things don't bode well for them, on a weekly basis. But the sign of a good coaching staff is having your players locked in.
Yes.
It's not always about the wins and losses right now. I mean, obviously, let's be real, we want to win.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, not everybody can win, and it's going to take a lot of work for them to be able to get to that level. But, maybe in the next 5 or 6 years they do take that jump.
Well, and I think that you can learn a lot from a beating like this as much as you can from if you were on the winning side, because you have to see how your kids respond to adversity like this. I mean, you got a 62-0 game. Just like I said, looking down on this sideline, the fact that these kids are still involved in the game, cheering on their teammates, that goes to show that the Lock Haven coaches are trying to do it the right way. Yeah. And like you said, hopefully down the road, 4 or 5 years from now, when these younger kids are seniors and stuff, and these coaches are still doing it the right way, it's going to help them out in the long run.
And now you see they got Inquine the ball the last couple of times. So in this possession, they're having the most success they've had all game. but it's essentially come through the big play to Chase Holmes.
Yeah.
And then the last couple of passes to Quan.
Well, I think they would have definitely liked to get them more involved in the first half, but I think Shepherd's starters kind of took that away from them as well.
Yeah.
The defensive line was just getting after Turner like no other in that first half, and they still are. It's just, you've got your second, third team defense in there. Not saying that they aren't the same caliber as those first team guys. 42, he's got a motor on him, King.
Isaiah Farmer.
Yeah, he has a motor, and he's getting held. He knows it. He's still fighting. But like kids like that, like number 42, where he might be on that cusp, of, okay, you can play as a first-team guy, but we just need to see you do something consecutively. We need you to be consistent. And I think he's showing that he can play with those guys because he has a motor.
And I think that's what you essentially want to see.
Yeah.
You just want to see kids with a high motor. And even when things don't necessarily go their way, they're not getting back to the quarterback, they're fighting every single play.
That's all you can ask for from a D lineman.
In a handoff to Wakefield, and he breaks it. Strong run. It'll be a third and short. And I think essentially, like, when the offensive coordinator will kind of kick himself in the butt a little bit, getting away from Wakefield, not taking some shots down the field to Chase Holmes and Quan earlier in the game.
Yeah.
And it's a learning experience for the coaches as well.
It always is. I mean, it's an all-around learning experience for the winning and losing team. You're going to take a bunch of stuff away from this game when you go to watch film tomorrow and Monday. But it's just great for these younger kids, man. I can't even express to you, how big of an impact that first collegiate play really had on you.
The nerves.
Yeah, and that's the thing, that they're getting that playing time early now in games like this. Come next year and the year after, they're just going to be ready to go.
Yeah, and I think that's essentially why Ernie really took the chance to give them that whole second half.
Yeah.
To give them that whole second half. Yeah. You don't have to look over your shoulder or realize that you're going to play one possession and not play anymore. You get to feel comfortable. This is my team for now. And I think that's what's been amazing about it. But this is the deepest penetration that Lock Haven has had.
Yeah.
It's 1st and 10 from the 11-yard line.
And look at the flats again. They could have done a lot more damage to Shepherd if they just would keep hitting these flats. And I don't know. I think it's because Shepherd they like pressuring that quarterback a good bit. So I don't know if the linebackers are just not getting out there or what it may be. But
so at the end of 3, we have Shepherd 62, Lock Haven 0. But Lock Haven is moving the ball. They're in the red zone. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. This is Akeem Holmes and Brandon Ashenfelter from Home Team Sports TV. We'll be back in a splash.
Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
Shepherd University, where we have the final quarter of the Shepherd University Rams versus Lock Haven Bald Eagles. We have Shepherd leading 62-0. My name is Akeem Holmes. I'm joined by my co-host, but we both host, Brandon Ashenfelter. Brandon, 2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line. what are you calling right now for Lock Haven?
I mean, I'm going to take a shot. It looks like that's what they're about to do. It's just number 42, man. He is being disruptive in that backfield.
It's probably going to be, well, obviously you see the ref with his hat off.
Yeah.
So obviously somebody stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
But there's also a flag in the backfield. So essentially, most likely going to be a holding on Lock Haven, which is going to pull them back 10 yards. And that's what's hurt Lock Haven so much is those mistakes that, when you see you've played on good teams, you played on bad teams. Actually, it's a penalty on Shepherd. I stand corrected.
Sometimes we're wrong, Keem. We can't be right on everything, huh?
I stand corrected. It'd actually be a penalty on Shepherd, and I think it gives them a first down.
And I think right here, I mean, I don't see Wakefield on the field, but I even like this number 20. I believe his name's E.J. Turner. I would put the ball in his hands. I mean, it's now 2nd and 4. Just go ahead and see if he can get those 4 yards and maybe even score a touchdown.
I'm going to take a shot at the flats.
I mean, yeah, honestly, it's just that down here in the red zone, the field is obviously more condensed. So a little bit of your playbook is out the window. But there you go. You got a little flag route. I believe that's pass interference there.
And for your linebackers and DBs at home, the reason why that play was called because he never made a play on the ball. If he turned his head and actually made some kind of play on the ball, now that wouldn't have been called.
Yeah. He wasn't in bad position. Like you said, you just have to go play the ball. Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's great defense. He just didn't.
If he turned his head and essentially just made a play on the ball,
would have been a great defensive play.
It would have been a great defensive play. Yeah. But that would be a half the distance to the goal penalty. So it would be 1st and 2 from the 2 for Lock Haven.
I'm anxious to see, Lock Haven get in the end zone and then just see how this sideline and how these coaches react. Because right now it's like, man, are we ever going to score? So this will be good for them and their team morale. Little option play. Oh, you got to pitch it.
And it's eating up.
You got to pitch that.
And it's eating up. Yeah, he definitely didn't run that like Tommy Frazier.
Well, I think one thing as a quarterback is you want to call your number sometimes. You want to make that big play. But right there, I think the call and the right play is to go ahead and pitch that and just let number 8 do his thing and try to get him the ball in whatever way you can.
And Wakefield, even though he's small in stature, he runs with a level. He runs with a low power level, and he runs powerful.
Very powerful.
So with a low power pad level and he runs powerful, why not just let's not run anything fancy. Just give him an inside handoff and see what he can do.
Well, he looks to be very explosive too. I mean, here we are, get it in his hands like we just said.
The flats,
great play by number 14.
They ate the flats up. So, essentially, as much as we've been able to say, hey, I would like to see this, you got to give credit to Shepherd's defense that they're very, in the words of Harry Brown, stingy. They're a very stingy team. And from looking at some of the scores from Lock Haven's games, they've always gotten on the board at least once. Well, so let's see if they can punch it in right here. They've actually gotten the majority of their yards, in his last 4 or 5 plays by a penalty. So Shepherd's kind of like bitten himself in the foot.
And Keem, number 14 on the tackle there, that was a great tackle. He's a freshman as well, Saku Kamara. So Shepherd's definitely got a lot of young talent.
Pressure.
Look at that touchdown. And number 10.
Holmes.
Yep, number 10. And number 42 still after the quarterback, man.
But for the quarterback, Easton Turner, he got a touchdown, but you can tell that he is looking. He's like, man, like even in successful plays, they make it hard.
Yeah.
So touchdown for the Lock Haven Bald Eagles, and that gives their fans something to cheer about. The crowd, and they actually have a pretty decent crowd.
Yeah, they do.
Of parents that have come to support their kids. They've been very vocal. So definitely a shout out to Lock Haven on that play.
And just to see them go ahead and celebrate that touchdown on the sideline too, like we talked about, that's good for the team morale to be able to put some points on the board and not go out of this stadium with the blowout.
And their place kicking kicks a rocket through the uprights. And right now we have the Shepherd Rams 62 and Lock Haven 7 with 12:37 left in the fourth quarter. And I wonder if Shepherd is going to go to third-string quarterback, or maybe put some other players in, and if that's going to be the last we see of the Lock Haven starters.
I would say so, just because you want to go out of here injury-free. You don't want to get any starters injured. You don't want to get any second or third-team guys injured as well, but you definitely want to get them that experience. One thing, I'll go ahead and give you Mr. Easton Turner's stats so far, too. He's 19 of 36, 1 touchdown to 3 interceptions with 173 yards, and he's been sacked 4 times. That just goes to show you how often and how just vicious this defensive line of Shepherd is.
Because the sacks don't speak to how many times he's been hit.
No. He's been getting hit a lot, and he's still over here on the sideline celebrating with his teammates, with a smile on his face. Yeah. And that helps the team as well to see your leader just being positive throughout something that could be negative.
And that ice bath is going to feel very, very, very great.
He will be rejuvenated, that's for sure. Hopefully he gets in the ice bath, because I know that used to be – at first I hated it. Yeah. I hated it, but then as you get older and you mature a little bit and you're able to deal with it mentally, oh my gosh, you feel so good after an ice bath. Yeah. I don't know if I could do it now. My feet might freeze off or something. I might. But
as you get a little bit older,
a little more sensitive to cold.
Things get a little more sensitive.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's harder to handle.
Yeah.
But we see number 13 warming up, so I think the coach was like, hey, we'll make sure we keep our first string in until we get some points on the board, and then we can essentially adjust. So look at Mr. Edgerton.
2 for 2.
He has a quarterback rating, and you guys, you're going to laugh when you hear this. His quarterback rating is 525.4.
100% right now. I mean, that you literally don't get any better than that. And then we're going to see the third string guy right here, number 12, Timmy Townsend. He's looks like he's a junior from South Hagerstown.
That's a great run by Austin Holly, and he had a patient number 6, i.e. Leonard Fournette.
Yeah, I mean he's a good-looking running back as well. So for you to have Ronnie Brown and then hit somebody with the Hartman, and then you have Holly to go as well, I mean that is a pretty 1-2-3 punch right there. So.
And the amazing thing about it is, you get to see the players get so excited at coming in on the field.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I'm just so grateful to Shepherd University for allowing us to broadcast this game today. So big shout out to Chauncey Wimbush. And this guy's fast.
Oh, my gosh, great cutback. Who's this, number 10?
Man, this guy is fast.
Najir Russell, a freshman from New Jersey.
Touchdown, a whole herd of Rams. Nasir Russell, is there a penalty on the field?
Yeah, it looks like it, but I think it might be
some
on
dirty laundry. No, that is one cut and go.
Yeah, oh yeah. And like you just said, you can tell that kid is fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
that was one cut and go, and he was gone.
Let's see what the call is here.
And the quarterback is putting his helmet on.
He might be. Oh, wow.
So that would be a 15-yard penalty on Shepherd after the play, so the touchdown will stand. But what that does is number 68 essentially has one more mistake, and then he's ejected.
Yeah.
So when you heard the referee speak to the fact that that is his first penalty towards ejection, what that means essentially is if he gets another one of those unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, he is ejected from the game, and he will not be able to play in the first half of next week's game.
And that is huge right now, is just making sure your Lock Haven and even Shepherd players understand, like, hey, this game might be out of hand, but we need to keep our composure because we do have, obviously, a whole nother half of the season to go.
Yes.
We don't need to lose anybody to stupid penalties, stupid unsportsmanlike conduct.
And essentially, how we spoke about Tyson. Mm-hmm. Remember, we attested to how Tyson breaks down the mental and emotional IQ of players. So to be recruited and to play at a high level, D2 school, D1 school, in the pros, high-level high school, it's not just about what skill set you have on the field. It's also your mental and emotional IQ. And if your mental and emotional IQ is low, but your skill level is high, you're still an unplayable athlete.
Yeah.
Because we can't trust you at that point.
Well, Keeman, I think you hit it right on the head there. As you move on, you go from midget league to, Jefferson County has middle school football. Berkeley County doesn't have that, but you go from like midget league to like a youth league. But that's what changes. The game itself doesn't change. The mental aspect part of the game changes from level to level. When you go from midget league to your high school, it changes mentally for you. You got to start lifting. You got to start learning football. You go from high school to college. That might be the biggest mental jump of all, because you're dealing with just a whole different aspect of the game of football, because you're learning all the little details, and instead of the bigger picture, you're learning what you're supposed to do on these routes, whether you have your right foot, left foot up, what step I'm supposed to take when I'm blocking for a dive versus a pitch, little stuff like that. And then obviously I never played at the professional level, but we do have people that we know that played at the professional level, some that still do, and CJ Goodwin, names of that nature, and they've even explained to us how much difference it is from college to the NFL. I mean, I know NFL players, they don't practice too much. I mean, it's more or less you get your work through film and walkthroughs and little stuff like that. We know you can play, but now you just have to break down the game even more from level to level. So
the strong tackle on that kickoff return by Amari Terry. But Brandon, to add on to more what you said, is at that point it becomes a more cerebral game.
Yes.
At that point.
Yeah.
It's no longer of being the best athlete, because everybody is 6'3", 6'4", 215 pounds, runs a 4.5, 4.6, 4.4, 4.3. So there's a lot of talent. The skills that are there for everyone.
Yeah.
But the mental aspect of being able to learn not only to watch film, but learn how to watch film.
Yeah.
Because there's an appropriate, and there is a way that you can actually watch film to better grasp what you're watching and what you're seeing. And I think that's what sets Tyson apart from a lot of the other players that he plays with. And you asked me that question earlier about what sets Tyson above it. It is that. He has learned how to watch and break down film and defenses and people's personalities and emotional IQ better than what some others have. And I'll be honest with you, with my son playing the position and we all have kids coming up, I would love to have my son be able to learn from Tyson.
Yeah.
Going forward. Maybe, like I said, obviously, he wants to play at the next level, and he's going to get a shot.
He's going to get a shot.
He's going to get a shot. But if he's ever willing to come back after that's all said and done, there's going to be so many people who want to get their kids with Tyson.
Well, my thing is just knowing him and his dad and his family. There's no way that Tyson's not going to give back somehow.
Yeah.
But going back to that mental aspect, I can honestly say that all the successful athletes that I know, whether it be Dewey, whether it be Tyson, whether it be, my quarterback that I played with in college, Cooper Hibbs, they all had that mental aspect of life grasped off the field as well. Dewey, 3 degrees?
Yeah.
Tyson, a 4.0 student. Dewey, 4 degrees, sorry. So it goes beyond just the field. It's just how they live their life on a day-to-day basis. And that's just what these younger kids can learn from these guys. It's not just what they're doing on the field, but it's how they represent themselves, their family, and their school off the field as well.
Yes, because essentially what you're going to get and what you're going to grow from is that knowledge that's passed down.
Yes.
When you get that knowledge passed down, please, I know when you're young, you think you know more. We've all been through it. But please be willing and open, to listen to that knowledge and that greatness and that wisdom that's passed down from people who have done it, before you, because the reason why they're taking that time out is because they care.
Yeah.
They care, because if they didn't care, they wouldn't take the time to share that knowledge with you guys. So, like when your parents and your uncles or your friends, when they speak to your child about sports and maybe something they may have seen that your kid isn't doing or could do better, don't take offense to that. Take it as, man, my child is loved. My child is cared for, and the community really wants to see them grow.
Well, and that's something that I love about the Eastern Panhandle, Keem, is we're just seeing so many different people, whether it be, like we talked about before, Marcus Roper giving back through his workouts and Money Mart training, or you have Adam King, who started up the Grind Basketball, who's making a name for themselves on the Under Armour circuit in AAU.
Yes.
Little stuff like that, like people, and especially the kids, the parents around our community, they need to take advantage of that, because there's stuff happening now within our community that was never a thing when we were growing up.
Yeah, well, look at the football teams that are now like traveling to Tennessee and playing
West
national
Virginia
tournaments.
Elite, yeah.
Mike Grantham had West Virginia Elite.
Yep.
So then from West Virginia Elite, you had Jonathan Roden, who starts the West Virginia Venom.
Yeah.
Now, Jeff Todd and myself, we're going to take West Virginia Panhandle, an 8th grade all-star team, to Tennessee this year, to be able to get those kids that last bit of fun before high school when things get a little bit more serious.
Well, see, and I think you guys doing that just gives those kids that edge when they come back to West Virginia and they're like, wow, we just played a team from Tennessee, we just played a team from North Carolina, and we beat them. We can compete with anybody.
Yeah.
And I think that just goes to show why and how this area has built up so much, not only in football, but almost everything.
Yeah, and that's why you want to give a shout out to the Jonathan Rodens who's doing that. Billy Benner, I know, like Neil Powell, Craig Hunter, the head coach Brian Thomas.
Yeah,
you
Rich
got
Sherman,
Rich
all
Sherman.
of them. Yeah,
Faircloth from Hedgesville, Coach Sims from Spring Mills.
Good ball.
Great ball by
this is a third-string quarterback
and, here. You got people in the community like Jeff Todd and Neil Powell, Charles Yates, and also shout out to Jaden Yates for being named Washington County Player of the Week last week at St. James.
Wow.
Jaden,
is he a freshman?
He's a freshman.
He's a freshman. Yeah.
So like you watch those games. Frank Turk. Hey, you play against my Mustangs this week, and you guys got the win, and Frank Turk was the player of the game.
That was a great game.
So that was an amazing game from
Frank.
Game,
yeah.
And it's just when you see these kids get that exposure, and you see these kids, how much it means to them, and how much the coaches and the community mean to them. Brandon, I'm excited about Home Team Sports TV, but I'm even more excited about my community.
Yeah,
I'm more excited about my community than anything.
Well, and I think we've touched on this multiple times, but that's literally what it's all about. I mean, just seeing the community atmosphere. I know the stands aren't as packed as they were, but I bet you walk out into that parking lot, and I bet you there's still a bunch of Shepherd faithfuls out there still listening, watching the game. And the thing about it is these players, after the game, they go out there, they walk through the parking lot. You see them stopping at tailgate to tailgate, getting subs. They're getting fed by the community. Little stuff like that. That goes a long way.
It does.
Especially for the players, because they're like, okay, I'm getting all this love from these fans. Why not go out here and just put my all on the field for them?
And that's why you see more and more players stay all 4 years.
Yes. Yeah.
You were essentially a celebrity.
Oh, you are.
4 years.
Well, and the thing about it is you have these little kids running around here, too, that literally treat you like a celebrity. I mean, I still have, kids, obviously, whenever I was in school, they're now playing and stuff, but they still remember me from playing. So, I mean, it's just football and sports in general, it just brings so much more to life. Whether it be, that young kid just looking at a Tyson Bagent and saying, wow, if he can do it, I can do it. Obviously there's a lot of hard work and stuff that was put into that, but I think that he's definitely going to be, someone that people look to down the road and they're just like, he's the epitome of what I want my son to look up to, that role model.
So we have 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line for the Shepherd Rams. We have twins to the left. We have tight end to the right. H-back to the right. halfback lineup behind him.
And this quarterback's name is Lek Powell. Looks like he's a sophomore out of PA. So and we saw that ball that he made, too. It was a great ball.
Inside handoff for a gain of 2. So it'll be 2nd and 8 from the 36-yard line. And you're seeing this a multitude of reserves being put into the game. Looking over at Coach McCook for play instruction, and you see Bajan actually calling in some plays.
Yeah. Well, see, and that's the thing. He hasn't played this whole second half, but he's been involved. So that helps out that whole quarterback room and the whole Shepherd football team, just seeing him out there so involved in a blowout win like this.
So 2nd and 9 from the 36-yard line with 4:56 left in the fourth quarter.
He can throw. Oh, yeah, great block by number 86.
It really was a great block, but the explosiveness from number 81 for Shepherd also finished the play. And I love how he finished the play.
Yes.
And actually, you had to have a lot of arm strength for that pass there.
Yeah, that's hash to sideline. That's a great ball.
Because if you don't throw that ball with some juice, then that ball can easily be picked off for a touchdown. So he has a lot of arm strength, and he's actually small in stature.
Yeah, he is. Well, and the fact that we're seeing, now 4 different quarterbacks for Shepherd, and they've all done well with their time that they've been in. I mean, that's awesome for that program.
A strong defensive stand by Lock Haven. And if I'm not mistaken, Ezra Bajan actually has gotten a scholarship from
I believe
Shepherd
so,
University
yeah.
as well.
I think he'll be here next year. Unless he picks up another offer that he likes a little more, I'm pretty sure he'll be out here in the old gold and blue.
So that's, obviously for, the legacy of the Bajan family to have, Tyson, and then, when he leaves, to have Ezra come in. He's another cerebral quarterback as well. It just bodes well for the quarterback room for Shepherd University. So we have a 2nd and 11 from the 22-yard line with 3:47 left in the fourth quarter. Twins to the right. Another screen pass. But this time, he did not get the block. No, he didn't return the favor.
No, he didn't at all.
To his teammate who actually took one the last time.
That's one of those when I'm in film, I'm looking at him like, man, I just blocked for you. Why didn't you block for me? Yeah, but I mean, obviously, some people's strong suit as a receiver, they can block. Honestly, a lot of receivers don't want to.
But to get to that starter status, you got to be able to block
Blocking is a want to. It always has been, always will be. You have to want to be that hammer rather than nail. And I wholeheartedly believe that as long as you want to do it, you can do it.
Yep.
You just have to put in the time. And
so 3rd and 13.
Look at that ball.
That's a beautiful ball. And actually, is that going to be a pass interference?
Might be a little more lenient
now. I feel like
right
now with the score being 69-7, and Shepherd throwing that pass, the referees didn't really want to call that. But if the game was a little bit closer, that was definitely going to be. You're definitely going to get pass interference on that play because it was a face guard. He never turned around.
And I feel like
made a play on the ball.
Come in tomorrow or Monday when they start to watch that film, number 18 there. Mr. Powell is going to be looking at himself and just kicking himself because he's going to be like, I should have just put that right in the back of the end zone and just let my receiver run under it rather than, like we said, it was a great ball, but he had the DB beat, so you just need to go ahead and put it up there.
And the kick is up, and it is good. Yep. And see, that right there is Shepherd is getting some practice for later on in the season because that was around, 45 yards?
Yeah.
It was a 45-yard kick, and it had at least another 5 yards, so that kick would have been good from 50. So right now the score is Shepherd 72 and Lock Haven 7. To put up 72 points in high-level D2 football, the Shepherd University Rams came to play today.
Yeah, and we said in the pregame that we definitely thought that Shepherd's offense was going to put up a lot of points, but I don't know if we thought that the defense was going to give them the ball back as much as they did. I mean, what do they have? 3 turnovers and then the 1 turnover on special teams. So when you have a Shepherd offense that puts up points the way they do, and then you get the ball back for them 4 times in a game and they turn that into points, I mean, that high caliber offense is going to put points on the board every time. So
definitely like to thank our sponsors, Neil Powell. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Quintez McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage. And obviously, Neil Powell Down Home Insurance, the VFW Post 3522, Catro Law, L&L Handyman Services, HG's Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, Money Mar Training, and Shelton Tree Services, who is our title sponsor for the day. So we will have Lock Haven's offense coming out. Again on the field with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And you see, Lock Haven actually had their reserves in the last couple possessions as well, but I still see Marquand in the game.
I see Holmes and number 3 in the game there.
You know, and they're young as well. So essentially, when you're building your program around those players too, you know, you kind of want your backup quarterback to be able to get, you know, some reps with some players, because obviously your starting quarterback's a graduate assistant, and he's finished after this year. Inside handoff, and his quick play is quickly swallowed up by the Shepherd defensive line. And Shepherd's defensive line has been the MVP of today's game.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, even going back to whenever I played, Shepherd's defensive line has always been a strong part of their program. Whenever I played, I mean, they had the likes of Howard Jones and Robert Hayes. They had those. I mean, and those guys were absolute monsters. So I think that year in and year out, you just have these defensive linemen that want to put their names up on the board with those Howard Jones, Robert Hayeses. Yeah. So that's why they're so good, is because they just work to be that standard that Shepherd sees every year.
And also, thank you to our newest sponsor, Our Handyman, for being a new sponsor to Home Team Sports TV. And that was a great run by Lock Haven. Little shift to the inside. Yeah. He cuts to the outside, jumps over the Shepherd cornerback, for a gain of 20 yards. And Lock Haven is continuing to compete.
Cameron Allison is his name. That was a great run. And the tackle was made by number 40, Kalen Perez, and that was sideline to sideline tackling right there.
So with 1:43 left, we have Lock Haven driving at Shepherd's 37-yard line. We will have trips to the right side. We have a single wide receiver to the left, Mr. Holmes.
I'm taking a shot.
Yeah, I'm taking a shot at Chase Holmes as well. I mean, he seems like he's pretty potent. He takes a snap, the handoff.
He's gonna get out of here.
And Lock Haven, that's one thing. Their coaches are highly, they're just worried about getting out of here healthy. Yeah. It's 72-7 right now. Essentially, you really want to get back, watch the film, see where your players could get better, see where you maybe could have coached better. You're not going to play many Shepherd Universities in an 11-game season.
No, I mean, number 4 in the nation, I mean, that just goes to show how good this football team is. Offensively, I mean, I think we knew what we were expecting this year based off of last year and having the reigning Harlan Hill. But defensively, they've shocked me this year. I mean,
very young,
but they make the plays when they need them. I mean, even in those close games, Cal PA and what was the other game that was a close one? It was here, too. I don't know why I can't think, but they were close games.
Essentially earlier this year?
Yeah, and it was here, too. I just can't think of what it was. But, in those games, Shepherd's defense made a lot of third down stops that really saved the game for them. And then, of course, Tyson came and, put an offensive drive together to help them win the game. But looks like number 39 on the carry here, and it looks like that's probably going to close out the game. I don't think Lock Haven's going to want to run any more plays. So
from Shepherd University, we close out our first collegiate broadcast where the number 4 ranked Shepherd University Rams beat the 1-5 Lock Haven Ball Eagles 72-7. We're going to take a quick commercial break and come back with our post-game show.
Meet Cheryl Yates at ERA Liberty Realty. With over 30 years of experience, Cheryl provides each of her clients with the best level of customer service, along with helping families with the next phase of their life. The buying and selling process comes natural to Cheryl, as her understanding of the housing market allows her the ability to answer any questions that may arise. With offices in both Jefferson and Berkeley counties, she works hard to ensure the outcome you deserve. Cheryl is the key to selling or buying your home.
This is Quintez McDonald Gibson from Integrity Home Mortgage. Come join the winning team today.
And we are back at Ram Stadium. This is Akeem Holmes from Home Team Sports TV, joined by my host, Brandon Ashenfelter. And right now we'll go over the final game stats, the team stats. I'll do the team stats. Brandon will do the individual stats, and then we will tell you who our player of the game is. First downs, 15 first downs for Lock Haven, 22 for Shepherd University. Rushing attempts, 32 for Lock Haven, 27 for Shepherd. But Shepherd had 296 yards rushing to Lock Haven's 47. The rushing average for the Shepherd Rams was 11.0, which we stated before the game that Lock Haven definitely struggled against handling that rush. So their rush defense comes in as one of the worst in the PSAC, and it actually portrayed today. Lock Haven had 1.5 yards rushing. Shepherd had 21 receptions. Lock Haven had 20 receptions. The receiving yard average, 9.4 for Lock Haven, 14.1 for Shepherd. So very balanced. You had 296 rushing yards for Shepherd and 296 passing yards.
Doesn't get any better.
Doesn't get any better than that. So total plays, 70 plays for Lock Haven for 234, 54 plays for Shepherd for almost 600 yards. They had 592 yards and 10.96 yards per play. For the Lock Haven offense, you have Mr. Turner, 19 of 36 for 3 interceptions, a 52.8 completion percentage for 173 yards and 1 touchdown. Christian Holmes leads the team with 4 receptions for 55 yards and 1 touchdown. Marquand Williams, 3 receptions for 39 yards. And Mr. Wakefield, the running back, 5 receptions for 35 yards. Rushing, Mr. Wakefield, 18 attempts for 54 yards, net of 48 yards, and average of 2.7. So Shepherd did a great job of shutting down that Lock Haven offense.
Yes, they did. I will go over individual stats for Shepherd. Obviously, we talked about Tyson. He didn't play the whole second half, but Tyson Bagent, 16 of 21, QBR of 207.7. 76.2 completion percentage, 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and he was not sacked. The two other quarterbacks we saw, Powell, 3 for 4, 23 yards. And then you've got Mr. Christian Etchinson, 2 for 2, 100% with 1 touchdown, and he had a 525.4 QBR. So leading receivers, you've got Mr. Harper, the freshman, number 83, 3 receptions for 60 yards, average of 20 yards with 1 touchdown. Mr. Dorsey, number 3, with 3 receptions, 43 yards, and 22 was his long. Brian Walker, the tight end, 3 catches, 41 yards. And then you got Marlon Cook with 2 catches, 31 yards. But you look at this, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different receivers that got to touch the ball today. So that goes to show how much Shepherd really wanted to spread it around and just get everyone involved. I think, Keem, at this time, we'll go ahead and just give out some defensive stats and then go with our player of the game, right? So
the defensive stats, led by our Shelton Tree Services player of the game, Isaiah Farmer.
Yes.
The sophomore had an amazing game for the Shepherd University Rams. He had 5 solo tackles. He had 3 tackles for a loss for a negative 10 yards. We have Dwayne Grantham with 4 tackles, 5 total team tackles, so 4 solos, 5 total team tackles. Mr. Qualamelo, he actually had 7 tackles, but it was the total. It was the loss of yards that set Isaiah Farmer apart from everyone else. He was in the backfield. He was creating havoc. As we seen after. Turner scored that last touchdown, the first touchdown for Lock Haven. He actually looked and just shook his head whew. This kid is just every time I turn around, he's there, in the backfield. So our Shelton Tree Services player of the game is Isaiah Farmer, defensive end for Shepherd University. So for Home Team Sports TV, this has been an amazing experience for us as a budding broadcast company. Brandon, it definitely was great to be able to work with you again.
Appreciate the opportunity.
And bring our first collegiate experience to YouTube, to our sponsors, Catro Law, HD, Barbecue and Soul Food Catering, Our Handyman, L&L Handyman Services. We have VFW Post 3522. Neil Powell, Down Home Insurance, Quintez, McDonald Gibson at Integrity Home Mortgage. We thank you guys for everything you've done to be able to make these broadcasts possible. So from Home Team Sports TV, this is Akeem Holmes with my host, Brandon Ashenfelter. God bless you. I hope you have an amazing evening, and good night.
Yep. Thank you all. Have a good